This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by your local milk bar. Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob. And this week we are continuing our journey into the 90s. The time machine is loaded up. I had to throw some Spice Girls records in there to keep the fuel going, but we are on our way. And this week we have a very exciting guest. She needs no introduction, but she's going to get one because A, she deserves it, and B, I wouldn't know how to open the show without doing an introduction. You know her as... a master planner. She's a vision boarder. She is the female Peewee. And to some of you, for some reason, she's my second wife. Please welcome back to the show, Maddie Schultz.
Hello. I like that one. That was a good intro.
I've been thinking about that one for a couple of days.
Well done.
We were talking on Sunday, and I can't remember how it came up. I don't know how it was. I was like, I'm just going to start introducing all the mums as like mom babes. And I was like, nope, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. Like,
when you say it out loud, you're like, no, that's weird.
I was like, that. I mean, look, this show would get cancelled pretty quickly if I just started referring to all the mums as mum babes.
I told Dave I was coming on again. He's like, oh yeah, so you're a three-peat.
Three-peat or triple threat?
Yeah, I was like, time number 3, three-peat.
You rack up some serious listens, and I was just saying, literally before we recorded, I was like, I've been looking forward to this because you are hands down one of my favorite guests, and I say that about most of my guests, but like, no one else gets called my second wife. Only,
I've still got the mantle.
That's it.
And I think I really got extra brownie points last time for my impressions. I think that helped.
I think I said when I was mentioning that, I'm like, don't forget to bring that sweet Peewee Herman impression. Oh man, that was so funny. I remember you were like, we keep getting distracted. We need to stay on target. I'm like, nah, it's fine. That's the point of the show.
I think we were so like loopy and sleep deprived. And
well, I was recording
had some, like junk, and so it was just bonkers.
Yeah, well, I was recording in bed, like, because I normally record in my office. I'm on my new desk all set up, which is really exciting. But so I normally record in my office because that way I can have a proper conversation. I can, be attentive. But like, there was a period of time where, there was a period of time where the recordings go long. They all go long. But like Tina needed to go to sleep and stuff, so I would just record in bed instead. And those are the ones where I go particularly loopy. Like there's an episode that Josh and I did a few months back, and you can hear both of us just like slowly falling asleep because it's late and I'm in bed. And I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like a good movie.
Were you making sense?
Well, I'll let the listeners decide. Did we make sense? I would argue most of these episodes, wrangle with the concept of sense most times. It's an ongoing battle. I apologize to everyone for my gravelly voice. I have been quite unwell. But all I do in my job is talk all the time. So I've been talking since about 8 a.m. this morning. It is now almost 9 p.m. at night, and I haven't stopped talking. So, and I said just saying to you before, I've got a few of these this week, so I'm going to be an absolute wreck by Sunday.
I'm gonna wear out the voice box today. You're going to sound like, who knows, Scrooge McDuck later on.
Scrooge McDuck. I'm going to get a Scottish accent?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of something that's like really like hacky.
Okay, sure. You can add it to your repertoire. We got Peewee Herman impressions, Mum Babe. We're going to scratch that out. The ruiner of vocal cords. I'm gonna wreck that voice. It's a weird threat, but I'll take it. How have you been, my man?
I've been good. I've enjoyed brainstorming how to do a better brainstorm than last time. I've been thinking, okay, 90s. I've got to get my head around all the 90s films that I like. So first, before I think of doing that, what brainstorm am I going to do? So I started brainstorming different brainstorms so that I could do this. And then I came up with a pyramid because
I was digging the pyramid because I'm a big
Yeah.
fan. I grew up, as I'm sure you did, with the food pyramid. So that's where my head went first as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the film pyramid. So obviously, like our really hearty, like fulfilling movies will stay at the bottom. Now, sometimes movies they can go in the middle, and then the movies we only watch every once in a while they'll go up the top.
Well, that's what I was thinking. And then I was like thinking of like, yeah, the food pyramid is like the ones at the bottom are like healthy and good for your system, and the ones at the top are like naughty and like guilty pleasures. But then I sort of like rearranged the categories so they're not quite the same as the food pyramid. Instead, it's more about sort of frequency. So like the bottom level is like super frequent, rewatches all the time. The middle one is not so frequent. And I figured out once I like started brainstorming that like the ones in the middle weren't as frequent because I didn't have them on DVD. And we more just watched them when they came on TV. But they were like the ones that you're like, yeah, I like that one. It's on TV again. I'll watch that. And then the ones at the top of the pyramid are the ones that are like, I need a break. I need to like have a year off before I go back to this, even though it's amazing. But you just sort of like, I need recovery time.
I'm gonna share with the listeners because you sent me a message the other day. I'm giving you a sneak peek, and that's it. And one of your topics or subheadings was the hits so hard I need longer between viewings handful, and I was like, I don't even know what that applies to.
That's the top of the pyramid.
That's the top of the pyramid.
The top of the pyramid. They hit you so hard that you're just like, oh, I need a year off now. I can't come back to this yet. Yeah.
I don't know if I have many films. Like, there's some films I'm like, well, I'll never watch that again, and not because they're bad, like because as we know, there are no bad films. But there are some films like, you know what, I've seen it, but I don't need to see it again. Like perfect example for me, like I mean, obviously there's really nasty flicks, but like something like Schindler's List, wonderful film. Probably never need to feel that sad ever again.
Yeah. So I didn't even put it on the list because I was like, I've seen it once, and I'm not going back there. Can't do it again. It's brilliant. It's gorgeous. Not going back. So it's not even on the pyramid.
You talked before about I'll watch it like if it's on TV. I don't watch a lot of free to air TV anymore, but there are a few that I'll go to. Back to the Future is an obvious one, and Hot Fuzz is one as well. But there's this comedian, this British comedian Brett Goldstein. Who have you watched Ted Lasso?
Little bits, yeah.
So he plays Roy Kent, you know, the one like Keely, like the really angry soccer player. So he's a British comedian. It sounds nothing like Roy Kent, and he has a movie podcast as well. But him and this other comedian Nish Kumar play a game, and it's called Try Not to Watch Goodfellas when it's on TV, and and you can't win it because once Goodfellas is on, like you are there for the whole ride.
You put it on, you watch the whole thing, yeah. And Goodfellas is 90s, yeah.
It is a 90s film, yeah. I just got a 90s film delivered today. I was like, oh, Silence of the Lambs. I can't wait to watch that. I'm like, oh, that's a 90s film. I wonder if it'd be on my list. So I'm still working out my list.
Well, I am a legit 90s baby. I was born in 1990.
You're always reminding me how much younger than me you are. Making me feel like
I'm so fresh. I'm so fresh. You're just so old and so crusty.
You're lit. You're straight fire. I don't know any of these words. And I feel physically ill just having them come out of my mouth. You're actually the second 90s baby. We've only done 2 90s shows and both guests now who were born in the 90s. So there you go.
Was the other one Sarah?
Yeah. My sister. She's born in the 90s. But coming up, we've got an old man. Well, he's my age, but
I got excited. I thought legit old man talking about 90s films.
Well, I mean, my dad will probably come on at some point. He talked about 80s films. I think he talked about Dead Poet Society as well. I don't know if we've talked about it since, because Dead Poet Society was on your list, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the last time you were on, you talked about it. That's the last time you were on. And since then, I have watched Dead Poet Society, and we've talked about it briefly, but I adored it. I loved it.
Yay!
Such a wonderful movie. I didn't cry, and I think I had to watch it in multiple sittings, but I could see why. I was like, oh my god, like I was getting close, even though I didn't consider if I watched it in one whole sitting in like an isolated room, I would have been an absolute mess. Have not yet gone to Steel Magnolias. I had someone bother me the other day. She was like, you've watched 42 films this year and you haven't watched Steel Magnolias? I'm like, yeah, because it's not available. Like, I can't do anything about it if it's not available. It's on my import list from the US. So at some point I'll round it all up and then I'll finally check it out.
You'll get there.
But you sold it very, very strongly. The last time you were on. But and I'm sure people are like, 42 movies in like just over a month. Like, get a life. This is my life, bro. This
This
is
is
my
the
life.
hobby. This is the enjoyment. Yeah.
I couldn't believe I'd done it. I'm like, hey, look at you go. Setting
I can't believe you
records.
got through some of those like trilogies and series already so quickly, like Scream and that. Like,
Not Scream. Well, I was away sick from work the other day, so I watched 3 Scream films in a day.
well, yeah, like that. Like, holy crap, that's a lot.
I watched 3 Scream films and I watched 2 other movies. I watched 3 Scream films. I watched Fall, which I
In
really
one
liked.
day.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
sick. I was sick, so I just lay on the couch all day. And then I started watching. I watched most of Straight Outta Compton that night as well, which was a great movie. I'd never seen
I
it before.
discovered this big gash on my knee. Ow.
Well, that's no good.
Keep putting my hand in it. I'm like, why is my knee sore? There's a big giant gash. What the hell? I don't
That's not pleasant for you.
know. Oh well, I've got another knee. It looks alright.
um, so you're a '90s baby. So I was gonna say, is the '90s important to you? But I'd say mildly because that's when you were born. But what do you think of when we talk about the '90s? What kind of springs to mind?
Like, I feel I don't know. It felt like just sort of my time. Like, yeah,
Mm,
because it was happening to me
mm,
when I was younger, you don't really cement, I don't know, too much thought into like capturing and holding on to those memories because when you're
mm,
young, you sort of don't know that you should be. Like, I don't know. It just felt great, like growing up, and that was just what I grew up in, and I don't know. I don't know how to describe it really.
mm.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And she's never invited back again. No, for that answer. Well, I grew up in the '90s as well. Like I was born just only a couple of years before you, but obviously I don't remember the '80s at all. I remember the '90s. And
Mm,
I'm very much like we were talking about this Sarah and I the other day. I feel that way as well. Like it just if you look back at '90s in film, or like you kind of see like what the '90s as told through art, like it's very stylized, but it didn't feel like that at all to me. It was just like, yeah, we're just kids on bikes and
mm.
we messed around, did dumb stuff, and now we're older and we still mess around and do dumb stuff. We just can't ride bikes anymore because our legs will fall off. But look, the last time you were on, we talked about '80s, and I suppose like what does the '80s mean? And we always think of like excess and pop music and you know
Mm.
power suits and women getting jobs. Like even though they begin like that was kind of like the
But it was
'80s.
easy to like sort of dig up those things because they're kind of like stereotypes that you can just
Mm,
like you can throw out without having to sort of be accountable for or attached to. Whereas the 90s like happened, like I was in and amongst it. So it's sort of yeah, it's sort of strange. Like when I think of all the things like crimping hair and flares and stuff, like
mm.
I did that. I wore the flares. Like, yeah, like the Spice Girls. I loved them. I'm hosting a Spice Girls movie night on the weekend because I haven't seen it
Tina
in
told me
years.
you were hosting a Spice Girls party.
Yeah, I
Thing.
haven't seen the film in years, and I bet you it holds up. So,
Oh, insanely well because we watched it around the time it was either right before Zoe was born or just after Zoe was born.
yeah.
And we're talking, and Tina's like, "Do we have Spice Girls?" I'm like, "We do have Spice Girls. I'm pretty sure," and we did. So we pulled it out, and like I watched that movie in abundance as a child. I saw that movie so many times. I was literally like quoting it to her. I was like, I knew everything that was coming up. I'm like, get ready. Like, this is the guy with like the drill instructor dance. He's going to be like, yes, I know. I've seen your videos. Like, I know there's going to be that. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure there's aliens in this movie. And Tina was like, what? I'm like, yeah, there's aliens. And like 2 minutes
Yes,
later, like aliens showed up and were like, it's weird because I'm pretty sure if I don't remember exactly, I think one of them like fondles like
they're
one of the Spice
pervy.
Girls.
That's right. They're
Yeah.
pervy little aliens.
Yeah.
Yes, and Stephen Fry's in it.
Stephen Fry's in it. Meatloaf's in it.
Meatloaf.
Um, It's
Yeah.
Elton John's in it. Like it's a solid flick. Like it has like a 3.2 on IMDb or whatever. And I'm like, you guys don't get it. Like
No.
you don't get it. Like it's so much fun. Like we talked about Spice Girls a little bit on the last episode as well, but like it is an insanely funny movie. Like I put that hand in hand. I say like you get Spice Girls is your British pop movie, and then your American pop music movie is Josie and the Pussycats. But
Ah.
Tina doesn't like Josie and the Pussycats. She thinks it's stupid, which is fine. She's like, it like she didn't watch it until she was in her until she was a parent, and like we were watching it one night. It might have been around the same time. I was like, oh, if you like Spice Girls, you got to
You'll
check
like
out Josie and the
this.
Pussycats. And
Ah.
she's sitting through it, and she was like, by the end of it, she's like, this sucked. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, and then I was like, well, you watched it as a 32-year-old woman. I watched it when I was like 12 years old. So for me, plus Rachel E. Cook, 90s mega babe. Like, yes, please. Like, this is she was in She's All That. She did like
Yeah.
one other movie. Like,
I was gonna say,
and-
all I remember her in is Josie and the Pussycats, and She's All That.
yeah.
Yeah.
She did a couple. She did Antitrust. It was like an edgy, like web thriller. Like, remember how the internet was a villain in movies in the 2000s? That was one of those ones.
And being a hacker was really cool and really
Yeah,
edgy.
I'm hacking in.
I'm hacking in. I'm downloading stuff.
I'm in the mainframe. They use words like that. Well, like if I take a step back and I think about stereotypes, like my big thing is like, I guess grunge is very influential in the 90s. Like you see your plaid shirts and your stonewashed denim and Doc Marten boots and
Eyeliner.
people
and
smoking cigarettes and
cigarettes.
those
Yes.
choker things around their necks.
It's weird seeing it all back in. It's so weird walking around the shops and there's like a 14-year-old and they're wearing the same stuff I did. Like, I was telling David the other day that I think I wore out like 3 pairs of cargo pants because I just lived in them.
And because
them.
like, there's so many pockets. I can fill all of these pockets.
I just loved them. They were just so comfortable and just so me and like so like great for what we like got up to in terms of like climbing trees or like walking home from school or like
These are good walking pants. These cargo pants, they really make walking easy.
Well, when I say walk home from school, like our walk home from school was about half an hour, and there was about 8 of us.
Oof,
and so
that
like
is a long walk.
that's like nothing. That's nothing. Well, compared to what we did, my friendship group, all lived within the same block around a park. So we pretty much all edged the park. And by the time we all got home, like we'd already been to like 5 or 6 different houses. We'd already been in the creek, like throwing rocks at each other and like, to the milk bar and spent some money and like, yeah, like we were just wandering around, messing about and like pushing each other around and piggybacks and climbing up on top of mailboxes and like, yeah, we were just
You said 2 words that meant a lot to me as a kid, and that was milk bar. Like that's a very 90s memory for me. Like there was an age, if you can believe it, where you could go into a store where there were unwrapped lollies on the counter and you could just touch them with your hands.
You could turn up with a 10-cent coin and get like 20 lollies.
You make out like a bandit. Like I remember there were like these, I think it was kind of like a walnut whip, if you're familiar with the walnut whip, but it was like they would have like just an open box and they were like just chocolate covered marshmallows just sitting there, no protective cover, no tongs, just grab one for like 50 cents. I was like, all right.
And do you remember like gobstoppers? And you could just walk in, you get that giant jawbreaker one.
Oh yeah.
Like, so good. Or like, yeah, you'd put your hand into the really small sort of sour lollies or something, and you'd be eating them from your little paper bag, your little white paper bag. You'd be eating your lollies, and you'd be like, "This one's fine, and it's squishy, or whatever the right texture." And you'd eat and eat and eat, and then before you'd even realize, you'd put one in your mouth, and it would be like a stale one that had been at the bottom of the batch, and you'd be like, "Oh, my fucking teeth!" But you'd still eat it. Yeah, so great. Not wasting my pocket money.
Yeah, I did. I don't know who this new character is, but I'm here for it.
I think I'm channeling Bingo when she's pretending to be a granny. And she's like, "Oh no, I dropped my coins, Rita."
Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a really good park.
Really, I'm all here for Bingo as a granny. It's funny, like you talk about the paper bags. I'm like, oh yeah, like you would get like chocolate frogs in a paper bag, and like even though they were chocolate and they're not known to be an oily confectionery, somehow the paper bag will get oily from a chocolate frog.
Oh my god! I've just had an epiphany. Oh my god! A memory has just come back into my brain that I didn't have for all this time, and this memory has literally just like shoved itself up my nose. Oh my god! Remember when you'd finish swimming lessons and you'd get a killer python?
Oh yeah. Or just like when they introduced blue snakes for the first time. I was like, what do you mean blue snakes? Blue snake? Where did this blue snake from? This is amazing.
Where did blue snakes go?
Are they not around anymore?
They don't do that anymore, do they?
I'm not sure. But Killer Python, the other memory I have with swimming lessons as a child was we used to go to Hungry Jack's afterwards. For our international listeners, Hungry Jack's is Burger King. And back in the day, like the chicken nuggets were the best chicken nuggets ever. Like they didn't come close. They were narrow and they were like pepper crumbed, and they were like, it was so good. Like I still remember that taste. And then some point, like right around the time I finished up high school, they changed the recipe, and they changed the recipe for them like 6 times since then. Never as good. Never as good. The closest thing you can get to it now is I think it's a Steggles product. We're really going off topic here. Is you can get a Steggles salt and pepper chicken finger in your freezer aisle, and it's close. It's not the same thing, but it's about as close as you can get. And in my late 20s, that was my hangover cure. Like a big old bowl of salt and pepper chicken fingers. They're pretty good, but like those Hungry Jack's nuggets, like there are a couple of like foods from my childhood which have been erased from history that I will never get over. The Cadbury Crave is one of them, which was I mean, they made in England. There's the Whisper Gold, which is very close. So I've got an approximate, but there are a couple of things. Take Fives. I don't know if you remember Take Fives. It was like a row of Maltesers on a block of chocolate. That was great.
Do they still make Yowies?
Yowies came back. So they were gone and they came back, but I don't think they're Cadbury anymore because the chocolate's a bit cheaper.
Okay, I remember Yowies. They were fun.
There was a Yumbat, which was kind of like an Australian version of a Caramello Koala, even though a Caramello Koala is an Australian version.
Vague memory.
And one of my all-time favorites was a Vice Versa, which was like, so they were basically you get a packet of Vice Versas, and they were like thick Smarties or thick M&Ms, and they'd be brown on the outside or white on the inside, and the opposite color on the inside. So it'd be chocolate with a white chocolate shell, or white chocolate with a milk chocolate shell, and they were amazing.
I've never heard of those. That's so cool.
So they were around. I would have been like maybe 5 or 6 when they stopped doing those. So that's going back 30 years. Can't remember much about my childhood, but I can remember the candies.
The food.
So good.
In the food. There you go. That's what I'll say for the 90s. Some of the food.
Or like the Happy Meal toys were always great. In the 90s, you get those transforming little fryers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were cool.
And the Happy Meal boxes were impossible to close if you were a child because they had like a weird like switch system. Like now, like in the last like 10 years, like kids are dumb. Just fold it, whatever. Just
fold and open the damn thing.
It was it was like intricate. There was a whole like rope and pulley system involved to get this thing open and closed as a kid.
Maybe too many kids dropped their Happy Meals and all the shit fell out, so they're just like enough.
And I just remember another thing. This is a food thing as well from the nights. People like talk about movies, please. It's a movie podcast. We're getting there.
We're trying. You know us. You know we suck. You know
we get distracted. Just be glad I'm not calling her my wife anymore. Like we're talking about food. It's a weird joke to make because you are heavily pregnant as well.
I'm literally 2 weeks away from having my son.
Yeah.
Yes. We are not,
I'm going to keep making this joke, and
not actually a real married couple, but no. we will continue the long con for as long as we find it funny.
Well, I mean, the listeners seem to think it's real, so look, it's fine. This was a bad food thing that got improved after the 90s, and that was the McDonald's chicken nugget. Because I would have chicken nuggets a lot as a child. Clearly, I've talked about 2 different brands. No, 3 technically at this point. And it was back before they made the chicken breast nuggets. So it'd be just like the blended up like chicken carcass.
Like the pulp stuff.
Yeah. So, but what you would do is you get a packet of nuggets, and they would have some breast nuggets in there, but then there were also the pulpy ones. And my brother and I would play a game. I don't know why. Well, I don't know if it was a game, but we'd be like, all right, can you guess what it is? Is it a good one or a bad one? And like, this one's definitely a good one. And like, oh, it is a good one. You got to the point where you could recognize the different shades and textures of a good one versus a bad one.
To this day, I cannot open a packet of Clinkers or eat Clinkers without playing the guessing game of guessing what's in the middle. And like, even if no one's around, I'm like in my own head, like, oh, hey, Mad, what's in the? I bet you this one I'll get it wrong. Oh, fucking great, you dickhead, wrong, boo. And then I'll try again.
I don't know if they still do it. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah.
I was saying, they still. Oh, we're like an old married couple.
No, after you, sir.
I I don't know if they still do it, but temporarily, or maybe it was a limited edition, they did a Clinkers Cadbury block, and you had like crushed up Clinkers in the chocolate block, and that was quite good.
Someone made me a Rocky Road the other day with Clinkers in it.
Oh, that
so
sounds good.
Yeah. I could already see the colors on the inside. Like, they're not playing to my game here.
Guys, I don't need to guess. I can see the answers. So just do a smooth layer of chocolate around. Keep me guessing.
Seriously, I was like, take it back. Do it again.
I used to make a Rocky Road when I was a little bit when I was younger. I was in my 20s, and I wasn't really a big fan of cherries. Still not really a big fan of cherries. So what I would do instead is just cut up snakes or jelly babies, and that would be my alternative. And pretty delicious. I'll be honest. It is not healthy, but it is nice.
Okay, we're gonna stop talking about food now because I'm hungry.
Hey, me too. Tina made pizza for me while I was putting Zoe to sleep, and I've had half a pizza, half an entire pizza, but I'm still hungry.
I want to eat always. So,
there will be an additional snack before bed, I'm sure of it. All right, we've reminisced on the 90s a little bit, mainly to just talked about food, but that's okay.
It's important, okay?
For those of you still listening, we're now going to talk about movies. I am curious because I know one of your favorite movies of all time was made in 1993, and I wonder if it's going to make an appearance or whether you're like, I've talked about the movie, and I'm not going to talk about it today, so I'm not sure which way you approach it. I'm not a repeater, so like the 90s is going to be tough for me because one of my favorite directors of all time is Kevin Smith, and the first half of his filmography is in the 90s, and I've talked about most of those movies on other lists already, so I'm like, he might not get a shout out for the 90s, even though that's what he's known for. But I don't like to repeat. I like to keep it varied. So, Maddie Schultz, without further ado, let's get into your list. I'm very excited.
I have two lists.
That makes me so happy.
Because the brain in this biatch does its own thing. I have the blurb for the reasoning, and my first list is if all the films that I like and I've watched and I've put on my pyramid, if they could potentially be wiped out of the face of existence, which 5 would I save? So I've got a list of the ones that I'm like, no, I need to do the right thing for me and I need to save them.
Is one of those movies Do the Right Thing? Because that would be really good.
Negative. I don't think I've even seen that. I don't even know that film. What is that film?
Oh, you know what? Do the Right Thing is an 80s film by Spike Lee. I was thinking of That Thing You Do with Tom Hanks.
Okay. Nah.
Which I think is also maybe an 80s film. So I've really misunderstood the brief today.
Well, Tom Hanks, he was around a lot.
And I set the brief, so...
Terrible. Get in the corner.
I'm losing my credibility.
And my other list, so the films that I actually want to talk about, is the top 5 films that have had a significant impact on me for some reason.
Is one of them Deep Impact?
Yes.
Is it? Oh my God, is it really?
Yes.
Oh my God. I was like, I'm just going to keep making jokes about movie titles based on what you said, and I've ruined the episode.
No, legit. It's in there. It's in that list.
That's so funny. No, that's so funny.
Yeah, but my reasoning why, you don't know my reasoning why.
I don't, and I can tell you spoilers when we get to it. I've never seen Deep Impact, so I'm really interested to hear about it. But that was almost as exciting as the first time my friend Nick appeared on the show and we did Scorsese films, and our top 3 films were identical. We're just like, oh, number 3 is the same, number 2 is the same. There's no way. Oh my God, it's the same.
Like the scene from Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. We had to clear out the space for more activities.
We had to make bunk beds. I've actually never seen that film, but I do.
Oh, really? It's I really enjoyed it. Tina, she liked it as well, but she's like, oh, everyone keeps telling me it's brilliant, and she goes, I thought it was a bit overrated. But so she keeps talking about films that Tina doesn't like. She did like it. She just thought it was a bit overhyped.
I can't watch Will Ferrell.
Really?
So I have this weird thing where I don't quite catch sarcasm like 70% of the time. I just don't catch it. I don't know why. Okay. And so Will Ferrell.
Oh, how have you been my friend for as long as you have? Because I don't
catch half the things you say, and then I have to go home and think about them, and then I realize that
Like I remember, like there was a point where
I kind of play along if I a gamble. I roll the dice and I go, I think that's a joke, but sometimes
I'm not really trying to be sarcastic anymore. I've been trying to change, but I know there's a point where Tina was like, "You are so dry. I don't know whether you're joking or whether you're just saying something." Like she was like, so you gotten to the point where I don't know, and
yeah.
I'm annoyed at you now because I don't know. Like, are you telling a joke? Are you being serious? Just tell me.
Yeah, sometimes you're at that level where I'm just sort of like, I sort of get tripped up and then I realize, wait a second, our type of friendship is you would never be a dick to me. So it's got to be sarcastic or it's got to be for comedic effect. So then, like, I just roll with it. But, like,
that is a very, I think that's a very astute assumption. I would never be a dick to you.
No.
Speaking of me, and we will get to movies, guys, but I just reminded me of something else. Back when we lived in Lilydale, the first neighbors we had, the woman next door came over to our front porch at one point, and she was looking at it was either our porch or her porch. I can't remember. She was going through like a pot plant. It was like a dead plant, and she found a wire in it. She was, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's one of those electric plants," like as a joke, like sarcastically. And
Oh
she
my
goes,
God.
and she goes, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "What?" And she's, "Oh, you were joking." And I was like, "Yeah, like, yeah, like." And I
Made
didn't
me
know.
feel dumb. Oh no.
And I didn't mean to, but also like I was just like, come on, man, like, what do you mean? What's that? Like, what would the benefit of an electric plant be? Please explain it to me. Like, unless they found a way to produce oxygen through an electric plant, like,
Orcs. Sorry, lady. Oh dear.
she was a strange bird, but that's fine. Do they still say bird to describe women? Is that reductive? Maybe I shouldn't say. She was a.
I don't think so.
If I was from London, I say, "Oh, she's a strange bird." That'd be okay. Or like Roy Kent. "Oh, she's a bloody strange bird." That one. Really. I love that voice so much. I used to when I was watching that show, I'd do that to Tina all the time. She was like, "Enough with Roy Kent." That voice and Bane. I did Bane forever after The Dark Knight Rises. Like,
Really?
people hated it. Like, they were like, "Oh my God, stop." Yeah, the look on your face. I know what you're trying to get me to do.
I don't want you to do it. It's such a stupid voice.
I don't know if I can do it anymore. I'll see if I can. You have to.
Don't do it.
The trick is to cover your mouth and you have to go. What a lovely singing voice. That's pretty close.
It's so dumb.
That would be very painful for you.
He always sounds like mildly surprised. It's so stupid.
I didn't know I still had it in me, so there you go. I can still do the Bane voice, but I would do it for everything, and everyone hated it. Like, especially because I saw it without Tina the first time. The second time I saw it, she came along. So for the first week after I'd seen it, she's like, "I don't get it. I haven't seen the movie."
You have to stop until I've seen it so I can be in on this with you.
Everyone's like, "Man, that was so close to talking about movies." So you got two lists. There's the list of movies that you want to keep. You have to save. You have to do the right thing.
Yeah. But it's not by like humanity. It's just like
by the movies.
I would have too much guilt if I let them go, for various reasons. And then there's the list of films that I'm like, but these are like cherished too. So I don't know why they've ended up so dramatically different. I haven't unpacked them that well. But
so are we doing two lists today, or is it like you're doing a quick list and then the real list, or how are we presenting it? Because there are no rules with this show.
I'll do my quick list of like ones that I have to save. For sure. I'll just tell you the ones that I'm like, if I let this go, I would feel bad, or like my siblings would kill me, or like, the moments that are, where I watched that as a family and, had a really great movie night would be non-existent if I got rid of that film, or like just that quick little list. And then there's the list of ones that I'm like, but these films are like in me. They're like, yeah.
I definitely appreciate the threat of inter-family violence. We're like, no, my family would murder me if I didn't save these movies.
They would. And you'll agree. Okay, look, ready? Seriously. Number 5. Starting from the bottom up, if I didn't save Iron Giant,
that's a good point. That's a solid flick.
You like break my legs.
Vin Diesel's best performance.
Like what did he? No, I'm trying to think of
Groot?
what did he say at the end? No, Atomo. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. He doesn't want to be a gun. Oh. Anyway.
Great movie. And I remember the only reason I even considered watching that Bumblebee film is because like, oh, it's Iron Giant. Like that's what they've done with this. They've done Iron Giant in a way. It's the only Transformers film I've watched to the end and was like, you know what, that one was for me. But only because it gave off strong Iron Giant vibes. It's fun. Like, you know, if you're not a Transformers person, like, you have to convince yourself to watch it. Like, I'm not a Transformers guy at all, but I enjoyed Bumblebee. But yeah, Iron Giant is a beautiful movie.
So, like, if I didn't save it, like, that would be bad. Number 4, Forrest Gump. I have to say Forrest Gump. I have to. I love it. I love Forrest Gump.
The first time I saw that, I think that was the first movie or one of the first movies I cried watching. I think the first one I cried watching was Lion King, which is, I think, pretty strong contender for most people my age. But I watched Forrest Gump way younger than I should have. Like, it's not an adult film, but there's plenty of stuff in there that like just goes over a kid's head, and like there's a lot of like teenage sex and like drugs and war and like all sorts of.
Yeah, there's heaps of stuff that sort of pops up that you think, if I as a child asked questions during the viewing of this film, I don't know how my parents would navigate this or how they'd like skim over the back.
I think my mum showed it to me. My mum was a bit of a rule breaker. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I'm working on a project, which I can tell you about off mic, but I'm not ready to share it with the listeners yet. But I'm working on a project I've been thinking about a lot. And my mum, like, her role in my life as far as music goes, which is a rule breaker. She didn't like care if it was suitable for me or not. Like, she wasn't showing me like Friday the 13th or anything like that. But like, I remember seeing Rasputin under the age of 10. Rasputin's not a very well-known film, but it's about the Russian monk Rasputin and the family he worked for. And the final scene of that film is a guy goes to take a photo of the family, but they've hidden guns in the camera, and like they shoot the family to death. And right before it happened, my mom was like, "Oh, cover your eyes," like, because she realized that at 8 years old, probably not the right movie for me. So Forrest Gump was one of those ones she showed me at an early age as well. But
same. My parents didn't really follow like the PG rating or the G ratings religiously or anything. They more were to do with like, the content, the things that we're able to be exposed to. And I think in our last podcast I spoke about how my imagination was just wild. So there was definitely some films that I got banished upstairs and then my entire family watched without me. But it wasn't for me. And I never argued about it. I trusted them completely. Like, okay, clearly that's not for me. Totally fine. And they were very similar because we watched varying films all the time. But I think my parents just knew, no, they can handle this, or they actually might find this really, really interesting. Like, I think I saw Apollo 13 when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and I think my dad was like, Alistair and Lindsay, my older sister and my younger brother, they were like, I don't think they're going to really care about this film or handle this film, but Maddie's actually going to be really into this, and so she's going to like this, and it's going to be fine. She's not going to have nightmares about being stuck in space or anything. And so that was a really interesting one to watch younger.
Those are the treacherous waters that I'm going to be entering soon, because I'm starting to show Zoe things, and I don't want to mess her up, but also I don't want to be like, oh well, you know, like when you're older maybe. Like I wasn't a rebellious kid. If I got told no, I was like fine. But I told a story, I think it was last week actually, I told a story where there's a member of my family, not my immediate family, so a member of my family, I won't name names, I won't call them out, but I would go to their house sometimes, and I was walking with that person back to the video store to return Training Day, which they had watched. And I was like 12, so Training Day wasn't for me. But I didn't really have a...
Football?
Sorry?
Football?
No, this is the Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke cop movie.
Oh, the cop one. Yeah, sorry. Yep.
Yeah, really good flick. But I hadn't seen it, and of course I hadn't because I was too young. And I said to them, I was like, oh, how was Training Day? And like, in an effort to bond, because I had nothing in common with this person. I was just trying to like have a conversation because we're together anyway. And like, yeah, well, not for you. That was their review of the film, not for you. I was like, oh, cool. Well, I guess that was a successful family bonding, all done. My dad was pretty strict with stuff, with movies and stuff like that. Like, with the exception of the movies that he liked. So like those kind of raunchy comedies and stuff. He's like, no guns, no swearing, but boobs, go for it. Like everyone loves boobs. And I was like, look, you might be onto something here, old man. But people also like guns and swearing sometimes. Um, so I don't want to repeat like, and I'm not like bitter against my dad. Like I understand, like it makes sense. Like it turned out all right, I think. But I don't want to like hold Zoe to those same rules. So I've been trying to show her different things. Like she's obsessed with Frozen. She loves Frozen, and Frozen's pretty dark, especially that first like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, but we showed her like Nightmare Before Christmas when she was much younger. Like we didn't show the whole film, but showed her scenes. And I remember saying to Tina, I'm like, she doesn't find this scary. I wonder why she doesn't find this scary. Like it's pretty creepy.
Mm.
And Tina was like, yeah, I'm not sure. And like it kind of clicked. I'm like, well, I guess we've never taught her fear.
She
Like we
doesn't
don't.
know she's meant to be frightened of vampires and ghosts, and
Yeah,
she doesn't know
we
what they
don't use
are.
the word scary. We don't use that terminology. We just kind of like show her, hey, this is what do you think? And she
Mm.
finds it interesting. So the one I want to show her, and she might be too young for this one, but I want to show her Into the Spider-Verse because that is like a colorful, like action-packed film. She
Yeah, go
loves all
for
this.
it.
She loves all the Spider-Man film,
Love
all the Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
characters. Yeah, she's watching Spidey and His Amazing Friends on Disney Plus at the moment, and they've just introduced some new villains. And some new heroes like Iron Man showed up finally, Ant-Man showed up. There was like an episode where Hulk got shrunk into a baby, and she's like, "Baby Hulk." So,
I love it. No, I reckon it'll be fine.
so yeah, but we're toying with and like Disney films, especially those older Disney films, like those are dark. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm trying to I don't want to like overdo it too quickly and like scare her or freak her out. But at the same time, I want to be able to just like have that relationship. Like, hey, we're gonna watch this. Hey, I'm pulling you out of school early. Let's go see a movie that's not suitable for you. Like that kind of thing.
Maggie's just gotten into Coco, and we were at the shops the other day, and I needed to buy her winter jammies for when she sleeps at my mum's house, because my mum's house is really cold. And so I was like, you need to choose. You can choose any jammies you like. And she literally scoured like this big, massive wall at Big W of all the girls' jammies, all the boys' jammies. Like, I don't care. And literally, there's a pair of jammies that are like a skeleton. And she picked them out straight away. She was like, skeleton. I want to be a skeleton. I want to have bones like Coco.
You do have
Like,
bones. Hey, kid, you got them. Don't worry about it.
well, I had to explain to her what bones were. And so now every now and again, she'll like poke my arm and be like, there's a bone in there. And I'm like, there's bones everywhere. There's bones like in my head. There's bones in my legs. There's bones in my toes. And then she looks at me like, what? Why? What? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, she's going to look like a skeleton.
I still haven't seen Coco, but it's on my list. I went through Disney Plus the other day and I added all the animated films from the last couple of years I haven't watched yet because I've missed them, and I'm going to start burning through them soon. So Coco's on the list. And that's a 6-year-old movie at this point. Like that's how far behind I am.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay.
Yeah. All right. On your short list, we're up to number 3.
3, The Mummy.
I'm shocked this isn't on your proper list.
Well, I mean, it absolutely could have been, but yeah, it definitely deserves to be on the list of I need to save this film. I cannot let this film go into the existence of nothinghood because, like, what a fun ride! What a sexy god Brendan Fraser is,
and he's back. He's back.
I know.
Like, he's been back for a couple of years. Like people are like, oh my goodness, the whale. He's done 4 seasons of Doom Patrol and is wonderful in it. Like when I started watching Doom Patrol, and I'm like, is that Brendan Fraser? Like, oh my god, he's back. Where's he been? Like, I'm so glad he's back. But I just
dealing like with his trauma, poor guy.
Yeah.
But, oh my goodness, yeah, him in The Mummy. Like, talk about the sexual awakening. When I saw him in George of the Jungle, like, holy crap.
That is a flick. Like that's a solid movie. Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say about the Mummy? I only saw that I think the first time when I was 30. I was quite old the first time I saw The Mummy, and it held up so well. Don't know what's going on with Rachel Weisz between then and now. It's a very different person. But no, solid flick.
The comedic timing was so comforting and soothing and just exactly what you bloody wanted.
He was our Indiana Jones.
100%. Yes. He's so loved it. Even the bangs were just the most perfect Disney Prince bangs you've ever seen in your life.
Or like Backstreet Boys bangs. Like it was like that. He had a great run, you know. But
so good.
Anyway. He had a solid run. Dudley Do-Right, Bedazzled. Like he did some really interesting stuff. I I've been saying for a while now that the 90s to me are defined by the 3 M's. And that's The Mummy, Men in Black, and The Matrix. Those I don't know if any of those other movies pop up, so we'll keep it at that. But like to me, I'm like those 3 films like are huge for the 90s.
Mine feel more like the actors themselves. Like I feel like the 90s was really Tom Hanks's time, Keanu Reeves' time, and strangely, a lot of the films that I really adore, Kevin Costner.
He's still kicking, man. He's still doing cool stuff. Like he does not
but
stop.
His 90s catalog would like
Dancing with
I
Wolves.
watched a lot. Yeah, I watched a lot of Kevin Costner films.
Waterworld, was that 90s?
Yes.
I've never seen Waterworld. I didn't watch it for the longest time because it was meant to be terrible, and now I'm just like, why did I listen to people?
It's one of those polarizing ones. Like heaps and heaps of people are like divided, split down the middle. Some think it's just horrendous, and other people love it. And I am in the love it category.
I think my friend Josh really liked it as well. He's got eclectic taste. Like I was like, oh, I'll leave him alone, but I will make fun of him one more time. Like when he did his first episode on his top 5 lists of all time, he had artificial intelligence, and I was like, what are you talking about? Explain this to me now.
I like AI as well. Yeah, but everyone thinks it is or it's not, but I like it. Yeah.
Look, I don't dislike it. It's a depressing film. I just don't know why it was on his top 5 of all time. But that's fine. Like, it's so funny because this show is.
You never know what strikes a chord with people.
Well, this show is so positive. I'm always like, there's no bad films and there's no judgment. But I judged him so hard in that episode, and it's been over 30 episodes. It's been almost a year, and I've just done it again.
Drag him through the mud.
We're getting close to the 1 year anniversary of this show actually, which is very exciting.
So number 2 on my list is Little Women, the Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder one. I don't know if I've seen that one. I've seen the Florence Pugh one, but I don't know if I've seen the Winona Ryder one. But I know that's a treasure to a lot of people.
Yeah, we've spoken about it before. How it's just the warm cup of cocoa and with your girlfriends, and it's just it's one of those films that you're like, I need comfort. Like that's the one you put on. I need comfort. I need the gaggle of women talking over each other and around each other, and so I had to save that. That would just not fly if I didn't. And top of the list is a complete bias on my behalf, and that's Contact, which we've spoken about before.
Yeah.
So look up our other podcasts for why I love Contact so much.
But I think if you're saving movies, like you're allowed to be biased because they're the movies you want to save.
But some of the other ones I saved because like The Iron Giant I've saved for myself and for all of humanity. Like I'm thinking about others.
Yeah, so you've done your work for the world, and now be selfish. Like it's fine.
Yeah, and like The Mummy I've done for myself and my family because that was
for women and men everywhere.
And for everyone everywhere, yeah. But Contact is like all about me. No, I have to save that. I can't let that go ever. So
that's a pretty solid saving movies list. I've seen a few of them. The Mummy, like you're making me want to watch The Mummy. Like I've been trying to get it on Blu-ray for a while because it got deleted in Australia, so I'm trying to get my hands on a international copy. But man, that flick, so good. Great cast. I can't remember the actor's name who plays Rachel Weisz's brother, but like great. Like everyone's good.
Yeah, thumbs up. Even the supporting cast. Like the professors from the university or the rival archaeological team, the dude that plays Benny, like how grotty is the dude that plays Benny, like even his little like buck teeth and his love it. So good.
Like in a world where they're sequelizing all these 90s films, like it's time to bring back The Mummy, right? Like we're getting Indiana Jones 5 this year, why can't we get The Mummy 4?
I don't know. Do we really want The Mummy coming back again?
Well, no, because now that
be dragged out from the underworld.
But like now, well, I mean, like in a world where the Tom Cruise Mummy didn't work for people, I didn't have anywhere near as many problems with that film as most people did. But like people hated that film. I thought it was fine. In a world where that isn't happening and they are resurrecting old franchises, and Brendan Fraser is like on everyone's lips right now. Like this is the time to do it. Make him the Mummy. Like something went wrong. He's got a curse or something. I don't know. A goofy old curse. I don't know. I wasn't expecting the most pushback as I got. We were like, do we need it? I was like, I guess not.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, I know. I was stumped. That's absolutely fine. Let's jump into your real list. So this is the list, the 5 that you love the most. Is that what you said? How did you divide it again?
I just said they had a significant impact. So there's different reasons why they've hit a heartstring or they've been sewn into the fabric of my soul. Or so some of them I might not have like, glorious like love for where I'll defend them to the death like a chihuahua, against a Great Dane or anything like that. But for some reason, they're like part of my stitching sort of thing.
Your metaphors are on point this evening. I just want to say, like, between stitching things into the fabric of your soul and defending things like a chihuahua against a Great Dane, definitely hitting all the high notes.
I like, the graphic imagery. You really
I appreciate it.
Yeah. There's no misinterpreting what I'm saying this way.
It is it's theater for the mind over here. So you're painting a picture.
Well, you already guessed. My number 5 is Deep Impact.
So I've never seen Deep Impact. This is Morgan Freeman. Is that?
Yes. Tia Leone, Morgan Freeman, Elijah Wood. Oh, oy vey. Who else? Yeah, that's the first oy vey of the podcast.
It definitely is. I've never heard anyone else do it. So you're just trying to claim as many firsts as possible.
No, I did it on our last podcast. I think I said it a couple of times.
So did you?
How many times I'll say it on this one?
I've erased those from my memory. I was going to give you titles like the first one in almost a year. Is it Roland Emmerich who directed it? Is this his jam?
I have no idea. I mean, I could do a live Google, but
I can look it up. You do it, James. You're the host. You figure out why I talk about the movie.
Heavy lifting. I'm just the guest here.
When you're right. You're right. Robert Duvall, you missed, by the way. It's Mimi Leder. She directed The Peacemaker with George Clooney on the basis of sex. The Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie.
The recent one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's done a couple of things, man. I've never heard of her before, and that's not her problem. Like that, I haven't paid enough attention.
No.
There you go. Anything else interesting? A couple of things that I haven't heard of, but that's all good. Nice one.
No,
this came out around the same time as Armageddon. It was like there were two competing. Yeah. There's like two competing volcano films, two competing meteor films.
Yeah. And then so Deep Impact was the one that I saw first in terms of like most like apocalyptic. I'm pretty sure I must have seen Waterworld first with my dad. So like that in terms of an apocalypse or the world can't sustain humans, etc. I think I saw Waterworld first, but Deep Impact was one of the first ones. And I remember seeing it on TV. And then from then on, every time it was on TV, like I wasn't going to miss it. I loved it. And it all stems back to like, I am a big fan of a disaster film where like a big chunk of the population are going to like eat shit and die. Like, I don't know.
Ever the optimist. I can't wait to see these ants.
I couldn't tell you why I enjoy it. I just love a good cull. And at the same time where you get to follow I think my sisters just said, you just like to follow one ant while the rest of the colony drowns.
That's kind of where I was going with as well, so that's solid. Yeah. I know as well that you like, I know you love a disaster film. You also like a bit of a cheesy film. Is this a bit of a cheesy film?
Yeah.
Because I know we talked about a while ago, not on the show, Crawl, which is like it's a tornado film with alligators, and I was like, so I wondered if this is.
Yeah, it's not in no way is it a comedy or anything, but it's just, it's got moments that you can kind of eye roll and be like, of course they threw that one in there, and so this big giant meteor is going to collide with Earth, is the basic premise, and. Yeah, you get to watch a few different protagonists and their storyline and their arc. And when I watched it for the first time when I was younger, the political sort of stuff went over my head a little bit. But I think I must have been slightly just in sort of puberty, teenagerhood. And so the thought of like Elijah Wood gets to marry like his high school sweetheart while they're still in high school because the world's going to end. I just was like, that's really cute. And I liked the rom-com, well, not rom-com, the romancy there, the weird force romance there. And then with every new viewing, just different things popped up that I just really liked. I like the typical perfect 90s like soundtrack or
I
style
was going to
of
ask you about
music.
soundtrack. What are some of the hits on this bad boy?
It's orchestration,
Okay.
but the quality to the sound is so 90s. The drum coming in at like a suspense moment where someone's about to like get up from their desk and move somewhere else, and there's the doo-doo-doo drum, or like it's really really iconic 90s sort of. It's what you'd expect. Morgan Freeman, of course, plays like the president, and he's just a total president where he's perfect. And yeah, it's very, very predictable. And I just really enjoy it. I always watch it. It's on 3 times a year for me, easily, when I just
Wow.
want something. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like one of the only weird things about that I only realized later was not to give spoilers away, but
It's like a 30-year-old film. Like, you can spoil it. Like,
true.
anyone who gets
But
mad about it
you
at this
haven't
point.
seen it. You haven't seen
Oh,
it.
but that won't change my enjoyment of it. Like, I've got a pretty good idea of how things are going to turn out.
Well, there's a space shuttle. Of course, the Americans are going to save the world,
What?
as they do.
Good work.
Yeah, and so they fly their space shuttle, and they're going to set off an explosive nuke that's going to shatter.
So it really is like Armageddon. Like...
Yeah. Exactly the same thing in terms of their arc. They're going to shatter it, and it's going to split apart, and it's going to miss Earth, no problem, in all these little tiny pieces. But when they blow it up, it splits in two instead, and so it splits in two. So there's still going to be a collision, a catastrophic collision. And so one of the interesting things I find, I don't know if it's rude to say, but they self-sacrifice. They decide, like, oh, well, we'll just fly our spaceship into it and blow ourselves up, and that will disintegrate the bigger of the two asteroids or whatever. But it's just so quick, and none of them are like show ponies about it, or like overly American, or like patriotic. Like, they literally just have this conversation of, we'll just do it. Oh yeah, okay. We'll all have high schools named after us, and that's it, which I find really unusual, or like,
it's dodging the stereotype. Like, you would expect
because
them.
normally there's back and forth. There's always some sort of egotistical asshole that's like, no man, I'm not going to do that, and
Yeah.
my family. But they're just all sitting there, and they're all just like, yep, all right. Like, yeah, and I find that really refreshing, and I like that aspect.
Nice one. Yeah,
cool.
that's solid. I'll tell you what, no one's ever really tried to sell me on Deep Impact. You're doing a pretty good job. Is Deep Impact your favorite disaster film, or is there one that ranks higher? Where do you go with your disaster films?
No, I think it's my favorite.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's the one that gets repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated, more than Dante's Peak, more than Twister, more than Waterworld. What am I missing? What am I not thinking of?
I was a big. I've only seen Dante's Peak once. That film, when I saw it for the first time, terrified. But I never watched the whole thing. But like,
I remember we were talking about
the old woman in the boat,
lake, and
and Volcano also terrified me. The guy falling into the lava. I was a big fan of Day After Tomorrow. I loved Day After Tomorrow.
Oh yes, I love that film.
That one was really fun. Jake Gyllenhaal, Emmy Rossum, who is just so underappreciated as a performer. Like, she's so good. I think Dennis Quaid is in it as well. Like,
sorry, I love that one. Yep, Day After Tomorrow. Like that one too.
I don't watch a lot of disaster films. It was never a genre. Again, like when I was younger, it was never a genre I kind of was gravitated to. But now I'm getting older. Like, I should go back and watch them. I remember like when 2012 came out, I was like, well, like, if the whole world's meant to explode, like, how is there a happy ending to this film? But apparently there is. So
what's the John Cusack one?
That's
20
2012, isn't it?
2012. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I think I like I'm pragmatic. I like watching how people are going to solve a problem. And so for me, thrillers or like whodunit films doesn't quite do it for me. In the disaster film, it's like how they're going to do this and what's the next roadblock, and the same as The Martian. How's he going to solve that problem? And then he hits another problem. How are they going to solve that? And how are they going to get out of that deep water moment, and then the next deep water moment, and
Will
then
you,
be human at the same time. And I like
will
it.
you cross into the disaster film, which is also a giant monster film? So will you go for a Godzilla? Will you go for a King Kong, that kind of thing?
Godzilla is in the pyramid for sure, but he didn't make the list.
Well, I just mean in terms of characters and stuff, like, because when I was watching,
Godzilla.
because I love Kong Skull Island. I think that is such a brilliant, like, fun popcorn movie. Really embraces like the best of what those films are meant to be. But I've never really connected with the modern Godzilla films. Like the first Godzilla film, I thought was fine. And then King of the Monsters again, like, and even Godzilla vs Kong. I never really connected with them because it was just so like the human story just felt so unimportant. Like,
Yeah.
whereas Kong Skull Island, like, you got John C. Reilly, he's running around, he's a crazy man living in a boat. Like, there's a lot kind of fun stuff. So, and then there's a certain point where King Kong like has a weapon and is like cutting up a T-Rex and stuff. But I was wondering because those
But he's appreciated by that culture on the island, and like, I like that he got a nod for a monster film where, because we always talk about how the monster films, they're only a monster because humans have decided they are. So it was nice that you're on this island and the culture that they're actually are like, no, we need this guy, he's great. It's like,
but
he gets the props he deserves.
But those modern monster films, especially those Godzilla films, I feel fall into the category of disaster movies. From like, there's so much going on, there's so much chaos, but also like I don't know how you're going to solve the problem. Like, how do you solve the problem at this point? It's too big.
It's lazy and it's irritating because it's like, just how much shit can we destroy or how much shit can we blow up? Like, that's like,
which is another problem I have with those Transformers films. Like, this is the most negative I've been on the show, and that's why I'm like, there are no bad films, but there are films that definitely aren't for me. And like, Transformers definitely falls in that umbrella. And I feel like most of those Godzilla films aren't really for me either. Like that Kong one, I love, but like I feel like they did my boy, kind of unfair in that Godzilla vs Kong film. Where I'm like, like, that Kong film was so good, and you've leaned into the Godzilla side of it all, not the character, just the way you've presented the film. We're like, oh yeah, big monster smash. I'm like, no. Like, get the personality and the humor of those Kong Skull Island film into that. So, but I wondered whether you kind of went into that, kind of crossed over for you, and it sounds like it does, which is cool.
Yeah, it definitely does, especially with Godzilla. Yeah.
Nice one. Well, Jeff Goldblum. I figured like he'd have to make an appearance at some point. I feel he may still make an appearance at some point. You're looking at me in a very strange way. Like it's a visual gag and no one can see it, but you just pulled an expression I've literally never seen you pull before. I don't know what it was.
I don't even know what my face did. Oh, dang.
No, it was like it was a face of like intolerance and just like, shut up, move on.
It wasn't. It was a it wasn't. It wasn't
I'm just messing. I'm not messing about the face. I have no idea what it was, but it wasn't dismissive or like reductive. Deep Impact number 5. We've been going for an hour, by the way. They're like, oh my god, I don't care about toys and fries or Godzilla. Just get to the movie. You checked into the wrong podcast, my friends. If you thought we were going to go in a straight line.
You'll see in the title that I'm on this episode, and so that's your warning, just straight up. That's your warning. Yeah.
You guys should know. Well, I mean, your name may not be in the title. Depends on.
Well, in the blurb then. In the blurb.
It will be definitely in the blurb.
We'll put a hashtag warning.
Yeah.
To waffle.
Nonsense will ensue.
Yeah.
I can't remember what your last episode title was called. Oh no, it is Still Magnolias, and then before that it's a Mad Maddie world. So okay, you have been in both. Okay, well they've been warned. It'll really depend on your list to see how I can make a pun. You're
gonna like my number 4.
Oh, good. I really pride myself in the ability to make as many titles puns as possible. There's only like 1 or 2 episode titles that aren't puns, and I feel like no one really gets that I'm really trying. I got to the point where I'm like, well, they have to all be puns now. They can never not be puns. I have to make it work.
No, I like the puns.
Anyway, your number 4, I'm really going to appreciate. I'm excited.
Yeah, you're going to like it. It's The Fifth Element.
Oh, we talked about this last week as well. Fifth Element. It is a solid flick. It was also number 4 on her list as well. So
yeah, you're gonna like it for sure. I knew you'd like it. I think this one was a feast for me in terms of visuals.
Oh yeah.
So this one was like, I loved the so heavily like jarring juxtaposition of stuff, the grunginess versus the modern, and it seemed so tangible as a future for us. Like to still have like flying cars, but like dirty buildings and like, Maccas and like junk in an airport. Like it seems so tangible that I really loved it. And just all these different contrasting, conflicting juxtapositions, like hardcore religion versus the sci-fi aspect versus military versus aliens versus luxury cruise ships. Like fuck, it was so good.
Well, I was talking about this last week, and if there's one element of this movie that is definitively 90s, it is Chris Tucker, which is, I'll be honest, the most challenging part of the movie today.
Everything he wears, his big giant collars and his tiny little matchstick legs. I don't know. They must have sewed him into his costume. And just every 5 seconds, come in. Oh my God, is he dead? Come in. Oh, loved it. And Gary Oldman, I've never every role Gary Oldman plays is different. Like I don't know why I'm so shocked because he can just pull out the most diverse stuff that villain I didn't see coming. That style of like he's scary and he's a bit off the wall, but he's neurotic, but he's like it's like he's pent up like all this so much of this anger and it's just bubbling inside him, but he never quite like lets the steam out and you can just he's so cool as a villain.
Really good villain. I think it's the debut of Mila Jovovich as well, or definitely one of her earliest films. Yeah, she rocks the iconic orange hair, and she has that the outfit that inspired a million cosplayers, which is the weird rubber overalls.
I've done seat belts before.
What's that?
I went to a Monash University like sexual health week party. And so you had to dress up and I totally went in the white seatbelt.
Oh, you did the bandages?
I did the bandages. I sewed the whole costume myself and everything and went in the bandages and it was a hit.
I didn't know. Oh, I'm not surprised that it was a hit because it's not really a costume.
No, but as in like everybody was like, yes, cool costume. And this is the place to do it. Or like, did you make that? And like, everyone was like appreciative. It was cool.
It is a ballsy and very liberating costume. I'll put that out. But I'm saying, and I'm not.
But once into club, I wasn't hot.
As in you weren't feeling the temperature wasn't too hot. I was like, I would argue that if you're wearing that at a club and you're like in your late teens, early 20s, people are thinking it's pretty hot.
I gave the boys in the mesh tops a run for their money. We were all pretty well ventilated.
That's up.
And then my brother-in-law borrowed it to wear to some party, and then I never asked for it back after that.
That's fair and sensible.
I was like, cool, you can keep that now, buddy.
That I quote Fifth Element so regularly in my life, and it's just the one line, and it's "Please help." The way she says "Please help."
Yep. We say
and multipass.
Multipass. And we say autovash. And she gets shoved in the shower. Poor thing. Yeah.
It's a soft flick. It's I gotta stop throwing it under the bus, but it's another one that Tina does not like. She can't stand Fifth Element. And I haven't watched it.
She's not an overly sci-fi person.
You were talking about the woman who is obsessed with The Matrix, like loves The Matrix.
Yes, but I think she loves The Matrix for sort of the
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves for the ethics, for the action, rather than the sci-fi. by Persuasion.
It's definitely out there. It's definitely out there. Flick. I get it, like, because it's also like directed by Luc Besson, so it's very French. Like, it's got a very French sensibility about it, like a very European take on an American sci-fi movie. Like, it's not Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, there's a 5-minute opera scene, and there's a guy bleeding.
How cool is that chick though?
Yeah, great. All the visual effects and makeup and stuff are brilliant in it. It's such a solid flick. I haven't seen it in a number of years. I've got to get back to it and give another watch. And it's interesting. I was talking about this last week, but Luc Besson obviously went on to direct Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, which I haven't seen, but a lot of people like that movie. Actually, you know what? That's not fair. A lot of people didn't like that movie. But the whole thing with Valerian was Luc Besson had to wait until the time he made it because the technology didn't exist that he wanted. So in the 90s, when he wanted to make it, he made The Fifth Element. Like, that was his version of Valerian, and people were like, yeah, you didn't need to make Valerian because you made Fifth Element.
Because you made Fifth Element. Like, that is a gift. You don't need to,
But yeah, it's not. Yeah, I haven't touched base with that one in a while. Like, it's probably been over a decade since I watched it, but definitely on the rewatch list. But fun, and like it's peak Bruce Willis. Like, it's
a good performance. Yeah, everybody does a good performance. It's the pace. Yeah, and sometimes I get a bit weird with like really erratic, jarring, cut, overly stimulating films. But this one didn't go that way. Like, it had the potential to be a bit too, like,
much.
I don't know. Yeah, it had the potential to just go a bit too far, and it didn't. It kept its hands on the reins really, really well, and I think that really helps, get across a bigger audience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely definitive 90s. Like, you can't talk about the 90s without talking about Fifth Element. It's a great flick. Excellent. Alrighty, we just took a little break there, but that's all good. Fifth Element, solid movie, up to number 3. I can't wait.
Schultzshank Redemption.
What a goddamn film.
Yeah.
What? I'll be honest, we've seen Morgan come up a couple of times, which I am not disappointed by.
No, but talk about like a recipe for just a gorgeous, gorgeous film. Excellent film. Like, holy crap. You can't really get too much better than Schultzshank.
It's on a lot of number one lists. I think it's still the number one movie on IMDb. It's one of the, like, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like online there's a thing going around for time. I think it was 93. I think Schultzshank was 93. I was like, it's 1993. This year you can go see Schultzshank Redemption, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List. Like, it was like, again, like on and on and on and on, like all these movies.
Amazing.
It's such based on a Stephen King short story, if I remember correctly, Shawshank. I think it is. I think it's based.
I thought it was a novel. No, I thought it was a novel by someone else.
Oh, it's not Stephen King. Oh, I might be thinking of Green Mile.
I think you might. I think its source material is a novel from somebody else.
It is Stephen. No, it is Stephen King.
No, Stephen King. Sorry. I'm thinking of another film.
Yeah. Also, it was 94. I was wrong. There wasn't 93 for Shawshank.
But like, talk about, like, it could have been a recipe for disaster in terms of, like, not many films that are set in the same place. Like, you don't really go anywhere. You see the same 4 walls almost all the time, or the inside of a freaking prison cell. Like, that has a recipe to really be slow and boring. And for some reason, it doesn't matter. Like, we're in a prison for the whole film, and doesn't matter. It's so fantastic.
And we've had a couple of pretty good prison films up until this point as well. So you're also competing with, The Great Escape and Midnight Express, and like there are a few like solid prison films already. So to do that, you got the winning combination of Stephen King, obviously. I know there are some people who think it's cool to like think Stephen King's not a good writer or like to come after him, but the guy's solid. And Frank
material is
and Frank Darabont, like master director, he went on to do The Mist. He went on to do Walking Dead. He's done a bunch of things, Frank Darabont, and like he adapts Stephen King material quite well. It's an interesting film because it's not even though it's like considered like widely one of the best films of all time, it's not really a film for everyone. Like it's a pretty like confronting film. It's pretty dark, but like
Yeah.
everyone loves it, even though like there's suicide and there's people getting abused and all sorts
It's
like
because you really get attached. Like
Andy
you
Dufresne.
did Dufresne. I remember the first time I saw Andy Dufresne.
Cold through a river. I mean, it's
It's got, yeah, I agree with you. The characters themselves and the way that they interact with, are they guilty? Are they innocent? This one's been hard done by, and like the ethics behind it are all there. They're all swimming around when you're watching the film, but for some reason you really give a crap. Like you
the red
really,
stuff is infuriating. Like every time he gets like by the time he gets
yeah,
knocked back and you're like Jesus Christ, like and like he's I can't. It's been a while since I've seen, so I can't remember like if he actually was guilty or not. I think he was guilty if I remember correctly, but just like
yeah. He
at a,
admits to
at a
being
certain
young and
point,
making bad
yeah.
decisions. Yeah.
At a certain point, you're just like, geez, like this guy is going to die here. Just let him out. And then there's the other guy who like he can't.
Brooks. Yeah.
Brooks, yeah, he can't adjust to real life because he's been in prison for so long. But you hit the nail on the head. It's the characters. Like that's why like the movie works so well. Like it's the
Mm,
performances and the development of those characters. Like it's without that the film falls apart. Like
mm.
it is a 3 hour slog if you don't have those characters. But
But it's all male, and the relationships between the males are ones that we're not really presented with very often
mm,
either, and it's because of the context, because of this shared prison, this shared experience, this shared, you could be innocent, you could be guilty, but doesn't matter, we're all in here. So
mm,
suddenly this slate is just wiped clean, and yeah, it's an all male film. It's really cool.
and I'm trying to remember because it has been a little while, so I don't want to like give up. But I feel like it's not a particularly violent film. Like, I know there's some abuse and stuff, and people, but it's not like there's not like a big prison riot scene or anything to the best of my knowledge. And
Yeah.
that is the easy way out. Like prison
Mm,
film, let's do a prison riot. Like let's get violent and brutal, and like let's have the guard. But it's not like that. Like in fact, the guards are
yep.
friends with, like, are quite friendly with some of the inmates and stuff, which is
They yeah,
quite.
they go after you and they do confronting content, but the way they do it is because they go after your sense of morals and your
Mm,
sense of, um, you know, um, personal freedoms, and
mm,
like they go after those which everybody is invested in. Everybody's so invested in, yeah, being treated like a real person, and so they go after those, and I love when a film, um, takes its pace, and its filming sort of stylistic cues from the main character. I
mm,
really like when they match. So when like, eh, the way the film is shot, the way that, the slow pans are shot, the way that the music sort of shifts and flows and is stoic and calm, sort of mimics the Andy Dufresne character. And
yeah, of course.
I really love that marriage, and that it has to be deliberate. Like it
Oh, of
can't
course.
possibly
Yeah,
just be a
absolutely.
choice that a director just falls to.
No.
Like, and I really like when you know it's done well and you know it works. And in this film it just does. Yeah, the film style is their character. It's so cool.
Mm. Well, I remember the first time I watched it. Um, I would have been in my mid to late 20s. And again, height of snobbery. Like I hadn't had my turn yet, but I'm like, everything's good. And
Mhm.
I remember like, because I just kept seeing on it, like I just watched it almost out of like the challenge. Because I'm like, it's on the every number one list. Like there's no way a movie is that good. And so I sat there with like my arms crossed. I'm like, all right, go on, impress me, do it. And like at the end, like I'm in tears. I'm like, okay, you were brilliant, and I'm sorry for ever doubting you. Like, is it the number one film of all time for me? Like, no, like it isn't. But like, it is a very enjoyable, well-made film, and like a solid. I've been saying solid flick a lot tonight, but like it really is. Like it just cements itself as a staple of that decade, but also just like film history. Like film history is lesser for this without this movie. It's an important film, and like we've been talking about, like kind of we mentioned Morgan Freeman a lot. Like I feel like the '90s really was like his decade. He had so many great like moments in there, and had so many great performances in there. And I don't want to take away from Tim. Oh no,
I know.
what's his
I can't
Tim
remember his
Robbins?
last name.
Tim
Robbins?
Robbins.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't take from him. Like he's obviously great as well, but it's not the focus of the one. It's like it's the ensemble, and like you're right, it is an all male cast, and that's not that unusual. You do see all male casts and things from time to time, but especially prison films. Actually, quite often you will see, but the film doesn't take the easy way out. Like I mentioned before, like there's no prison riot scenes. Like it'd be so easy to just kind of stereotype each character and have them just feel like a preordained cipher. Like, oh, this is the tough guy. This is the drug mule. So so on. So, and to give them those 3D dimensional stories and make them living, breathing characters, like, is just it's the extra step that a film like that doesn't necessarily deserve. Like, or not even deserve, but like you don't need to do it. Like you show me a prison film, I'm gonna have a good time. Like I know what I expect from a prison film. You hit all the right markers, it's gonna work. But to take it that extra step makes it something special.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like it. Yeah, I mean, it still has the really mean asshole guard trope.
Oh yeah, you have to. You can't make a prison film without one mean guard.
You need one mean guard. Exactly. You need a violent, mean, guard. But I like that we get to see a non-violent way for Andy to then like win against the guard. Like I like that he talks him through financial advice and stuff, and like that's a way of him suddenly getting a bit more footing, and and the simplest thing of putting a poster up.
I was gonna say, is this Lauren Bacall, the Lauren Bacall poster? Yep.
Raquel. Is it Lauren Bacall? Raquel Welch? No, I can't remember.
Oh, maybe it is Raquel Welch. For some reason I thought it was Lauren Bacall, but I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Happy to be wrong. Never,
You could be right. Maybe I'm thinking Raquel just because he does rocks, and I'm like, is it Raquel? I don't know.
But it is like one of those kind of like vintage, like kind of silver age movie starlets. Like it's one of those ones. But yeah,
the hidden in plain sight is such a power move. It's so good. It's so satisfying.
And like it's really like that's like to me is like one of the like because it's not a fun movie, like, but there are like fun moments, and that to me is like the fun, like almost like the like let's not beat around the bush. These are people who have done horrible things. They're locked in prison. But I'm like the cheekiness of like we're going to escape using spoons. We're going to hide behind a person. I'm like, this is a really fun. Like this isn't a fun movie, but this is a really fun part of it, and I'm enjoying almost the nauseous of like, can we get away with tunneling out behind a poster? Like I shouldn't feel that way in a prison movie, but I do. Like, it's great. It's a really really good movie. That's another like you're 3 for 3 at this stage. This is a strong list.
I don't know if you've seen my number 2.
It's a weird sentence, but I'll take it.
My number 2 is Bicentennial Man.
I have seen Bicentennial Man.
And what are your? Because it's my number 2. So like, what are your thoughts?
I've seen it once, and it was. I mean, look, I'm not surprised this is on your list because I know your feelings for Robin Williams.
It's in the top of my pyramid. It's in the like. It hits so hard. I need longer between viewings.
Oh, it hits so hard that I've only watched it once. Like,
yeah, like I adore it, but I cannot watch it more than once a year, if that, because it just destroys me in terms of the ethics, in terms of the philosophy, in terms of the the sci-fi concepts, in terms of just the moral underlying stuff. Yeah.
So the problem I have with Bicentennial Man, and it's not a problem with the film, but it's too difficult for me to grasp, is the same problem I have with AI, which is we're going to leave a robot with human intelligence, and we're going to let them sit alone for 1,000 years and just gather dust, and they're still alive. I really struggle with long passings of time. I think we talked about Aliens the last time you were on. And I said my problem with Aliens is that she outlives her daughter in her sleep, and like those kind of ideas make me really uncomfortable because I can't comprehend that. Like, so the idea of outliving everyone, or you going to sleep when everyone you know is dead, but not only that, the world is different. Like, something that I really, really struggle with on an emotional level, because I just can't wrap my head around it. It's like, without taking this place in this conversation too dark a place, but I don't know if you've ever done this when you were younger, but like, I wonder what it'll be like when I'm dead, and then like trying to like, no, like you won't be able to wonder because it's nothing. Like it's pure nothingness, and you can't grasp nothingness, and then you kind of feel tingly and you feel weird. And like, oh my god, I'm going to explode because this is too great a concept for my head, and that's what the issue I have with artificial intelligence. So that's why I roast Josh about it, because I'm like, it's so upsetting and my brain can't handle it. And that's the same with Bicentennial Man. I've seen it once. The ending destroyed me. Cried. Like, and so I've only seen it the one time, and I remember enough of it to be like, yeah, that's one I probably need to go back to, because this is a challenging film. And again, just the idea of like 1,000 years later, he's still here. He's serving. There's different, like, and then doesn't he? Spoilers for a 30-year-old film. Doesn't he choose to like be disengaged or something? It's like, I can be turned off now, or he chooses, or he can be
chooses
made.
to let himself wear out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, that was a concept where I'm like, as a kid, and even now in my 30s, I'm like, who would choose that? Like, because I've never known suffering. I've never known I've never known the quest for eternal peace, because I've had a pretty easy life. Like, so I want the party to keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm completely on the same track as you in terms of like why it is so confronting to watch, because it forces you to question so many different things in terms of like rights, morality, what is human, what is intelligence, inclusion. Like, the way I would describe it to someone who hasn't seen it is that it's almost got like 3 acts, and I would say that like the beginning act where you're getting introduced so that you actually keep watching the film, because the film's pretty damn long. They don't want to frighten you off straight away. So the beginning it makes you contemplate sort of the allegory of like white masters and like black slaves. Like it's, a robot in serving a white family. And so it sort of follows you along those tangents of, should he have free time? Should he have be paid a salary? And what has given him the right to earn that, et cetera, et cetera. And then it sort of goes into the more like, well, what is separating him from us if he can function and do all these different things? And it goes into like the side of, is it creativity that spawns our like humanness? Is it at the bare basics of our human functioning, it's creativity or inquisitiveness? Because then the second act is all about him being creative, being inquisitive, wanting answers, wanting to find more things, etc., etc. And then the third act is all about acceptance and freedom. And so then it's really just all about him trying to become as close to like real as anybody else, to be accepted, to be seen as equal, etc., etc. And so like the complex like layers just sort of pile on and pile on and pile on, and then you get hilarious, Robin Williams getting jealous or not understanding humor, or jumping out a window to follow a direct order, or Galatea, the idiot, perky, other assistant robot that like you get, little things like that along the way, which are really cool and keep you like, give you moments to breathe. And
Well, I think the other thing is, because I saw it when I was young, and I only knew Robin Williams as a comedian at that point. So I was like, oh, great, this will be a fun romp with old Robin Williams
It'll
delivering
be
the laughs.
silly and funny, and
And like, it is not, and it was marketed as a comedy. Like, it was like sold as like, it's the new Robin Williams comedy. And I was like, I'm so sad and tired, and I just want to go to bed and wake up in a world where the Bicentennial Man does not exist, because he's haunting me. I will say this though: if you're gonna make a robot look like Robin Williams, that is the way to do it. Like, that is a Robin Williams looking robot.
Yep. He's very boxed Foxy. Yeah.
It yeah, it's so I don't have like negative feelings about the film. Like despite what I've been saying, like I don't think it's a bad film. I haven't seen it in so long, and it was just so challenging for me as a kid. Like,
Mm.
and clearly I have unresolved issues about outliving friends and families and like
Mm.
well yeah, and stuff like that, and maybe because something I've never dealt with before. Like I'm very lucky, like I have almost everyone in my life still, like, so I think the concept of being like, oh, you're the last one, and not only that, not only you're the last one, but the world has moved on, like it's a very challenging and uncomfortable
Thing
um
to sit with. Yeah.
concept, yeah. um but I've also never heard anyone talk about Bicentennial Man pretty much since I watched it, so I'm really glad it's on your list.
It
And it's
is. I
such a it's
adore
such
it.
a Maddie choice.
Ah, why? Just because it's sci-fi or because it's philosophical?
Not just that, but like one thing I've noticed, like overall your lists, like you'll always throw in a crowd favorite. Like I have an inkling of what number one might be because I showed up on a previous list. I'm not sure if it's going to show up or not, but I've got an inkling of what it could be. There's always a crowd favorite, but like 9 times out of 10, most of your list stuff I haven't seen, people haven't heard of. It's obscure. It's outside the box, which is great. Like, because the whole point of this podcast is like find interesting people about movies that make them happy, and
Mm.
hopefully build your watch list out at the same time. Like, I'm always in two minds when I have a list where I understand all the movies, because I'm like, oh, good, I can talk about these, but also I'm like, well, it's like I've seen them, so I can talk about them. But when I haven't seen a movie on a list, I used to feel bad about it. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm obviously not the film snob I thought I was, but now I'm like, oh, great. Well, now I can learn more about a movie I haven't seen. So, like, I would argue, but a lot of people listening probably haven't seen Bicentennial Man. Like, it felt like a huge movie at the time. Also, released around the new millennium for us. So it was like, oh, everything's changing.
Yeah.
But I have never heard anyone talk about that movie since I've seen it. Um,
I can imagine a lot of people thinking it's boring, um, and classing it as boring or not enjoying it. And I feel like it's pretty much because of it's slow. It's really quite slow because they want to show you this dragging across generations. They want to show you this passing of time, which is like
mm,
agonizingly long. And I think other people might find it really boring. Because they're not comfortable really sitting with those confronting ideas, so they just let them wash over them. And so then
mm,
there's not much else in there other than a little bit of a love story, and like that's it.
yeah.
So I can imagine that also being, a driving factor for its popularity.
It is, yeah. I should rewatch it. Like I should put on the watch. The problem I have is I'm like, I know how sad it made me last time, and
Yeah.
I
Not as
don't know.
sad as Schindler's List, but pretty sad.
No, but like Schindler's List is a different kind of sad. Like Schindler's List is an exhausting sad because at a certain point, you're like how much more suffering can one endure? Like,
Yeah.
um, and even though like clearly I have no understanding of what that was like, I can't even approximate like a modern version of it because I've never been in war, I've never been persecuted. Again, pretty
Mm.
lucky, pretty easy life. But like because the idea of Bicentennial Man is so obscure and like it's a fantasy. Like it's not a
Mm.
good fantasy, but it's a fantasy. And we talked about this before we started recording. Like I got my head in the clouds. Like I can sit with that idea and run with it and scare myself pretty quickly. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go back to the monster that is the Bicentennial Man. Like he's haunting my dreams and destroying the world. Uh, but um, but
Well,
on your
I was
recommendation, maybe I will go back to it.
I feel like it's one of the ones, like in terms of it hits really hard on the top of my pyramid. It's up there with Patch Adams, which is another one where you get moments of Robin Williams doing his like comedy, but you
Dark
get
movie.
just like you get really, really grabbed by the scruff and dragged into some horrific things. And like Stepmom, The Truman Show, My Girl, like they
Oof.
either have some really deep traumatic stuff that makes you consider your morality, or they have some really heavy, like ethical things that really make you upset and really, yeah. And so the top of my pyramid is all those sorts of films, and all of them are in the 90s.
I was gonna say, like Robin Williams, when he wasn't doing comedy, he was really just trying to upset you as much as possible because you can add Jack to that. Like Jack is a really
Oh,
confronting, upsetting
yeah?
movie. 1 Hour Photo, like like it's a horror film, but it is a sad horror film.
Mm.
Um, I haven't seen Insomnia, which I think is is it Chris Nolan? Did Chris Nolan do Insomnia? I think he did it, and
Oh my god.
it's a Robin Williams like thriller, and Death to Smoochie, which I actually really enjoyed, but that's a dark film as well. When he's not making you laugh, boy, is he scaring you, and making your life difficult. Um, but I'll go back to it. Like I think I am brave enough now to revisit the torture that was Bicentennial Man. And again, not a bad movie. Like people are gonna be like, oh my god, like it must be awful. He hates it. No, no, no. Like it is a well-made movie. Like brilliant performances. Sam Neill. Now I know why you like it because Sam Neill's in it. But it's just a very confronting film, and like was marketed as like a comedy. Was
Which
marketed
doesn't
as a
make sense. Like,
marketed as a film for the family. Like you like do not show a child Bicentennial Man.
no.
I was talking before about like kind of wading treacherous waters with Zoe. I'm not going to show her Bicentennial Man until she's like 50 years old. Like I just want
I'm
to have
not
a
even
happy.
gonna recommend they go and watch it. It's gonna be like, "Oh, well, I like this and you can watch it if you like," but I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, come and sit down with me and watch this,"
Yeah,
because
do you
that's
want to be sad? Like, oh, I'm going to make you
yeah.
so sad. Like, and not satisfyingly sad where at the end you're like, you know, it was good to have a good cry and now I feel better. Like, this will make you pensive. Like, you will
Mm,
feel an overwhelming sense of dread.
you
Basically,
get ennui.
it's the robot comedy version of Hereditary. It will exhaust you. It is bleak. Um, but I may have to go back to it because as I'm talking about it, I'm making myself laugh about it. I'm like, well, maybe I do need to go back to the Bicentennial Man and see if he's still got some fight in him. Um, Unexpected choice, but a very Maddie choice, and I think a very worthy film on your list. Just because you don't need to watch a film regularly doesn't make it a bad film,
I
because there are no
agree.
bad movies. Um, all right, number one, I have an inkling, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but I feel like I need to take a stab and see if you've done what I think you've done, or whether you've gone a different direction.
Well, I've done a slash because
JP's
I've
got to be
already
on there.
well, I've already spoken what?
JP, Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So I've already spoken it's Contact or it's actually The Lost World.
Interesting. We brushed on Lost World last time.
Mm.
I have watched all the Jurassic movies I hadn't seen since we last recorded. So
Yay, that's right. You watched the latest one
the
recently.
last time we spoke on the podcast about the Jurassic Park series, I'd seen Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic World. I've now seen Jurassic Park 3. In fact, you came over to my house the day after I watched Jurassic Park 3. Or I think I was halfway through it, and you're like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "You know what? Like, the CG has aged quite a bit, but I'm trying to give it a go." But like we talked about how like the introduction of CGI into the Jurassic Park franchise, um, like is noticeable, like, and it limits the
Yeah.
films because like they're less tangible. Um, but I watched all the Jurassic World films. I still love number one. Fallen Kingdom. I enjoy more what it sets up than the film itself. Like it's not a bad film. It opens strong. I think it
It's
opens
at
really
the bottom
strong.
of my list. Out of all of them, that one's at the bottom.
I think it opens like it's two different films. That's the other thing. Like because the first film, which is on the island, I really dig, and I don't dislike the whole auction thing either. I think it's a good idea, but it's just like too much for one movie. But I do like the setup of like now there's dinosaurs in the
Mm.
world. I saw Dominion, and you said Dominion is good, and I do
Yeah.
think Dominion is a good film, but I have issues with Dominion. My first thing is you've got all of, and we will get to your number one because we haven't actually said what it was yet. But Dominion, I had a couple of issues. One, it's like, oh, we finally got the old cast and the new cast in the film together. Let's wait 2 hours before we put them together. Like that was my first problem. My second problem with it, and again, I like it. I think it's a good movie. But these are just like observations I had. The other one, I was like, well, it's the final chapter. We don't know if we're going to do another film, so we're going to finish up strong. We're going to do something really different with someone. Actually, we're going to go back to another island. like,
Yeah.
like I'm sitting there. Like the opening is really cool. You see dinosaurs in the wild. Like Chris Pratt's in. like a hunter, or like he's like a protector, and he's in like a small village. Like, this is great. I'm like, there's no way they're going back to an island in this one. Oh, Jeff Goldblum's on an island. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's on a real creepy, like, culty island of,
I
yeah,
liked
10
that.
heads.
I liked the culty feel of it, and I did like a lot of it. I don't think it's a bad film. Like I was just like, oh, we could have gone different, but like no, 6 for 6. We're doing islands in every single movie. Like this is the formula.
I
Um,
agree with you though that, like, yeah. And then there was a weird little sort of Indiana Jones bit in the center, like, where
oh,
you
when
were
they're
like,
going through the
"Oh, what?"
tunnels in the
Yeah, we're in the
dark.
tunnels or we're flying a plane, and you're sort of like,
Oh, that was when they were like, we need to save some money on all these dinosaurs. Let's put them in a tunnel with no lights for a little bit. I'm
yeah.
being really mean this episode. This is the meanest I've been about films. Um,
You're being sassy.
I am. I did like it. So Jurassic Park: The Lost World is your number one /
Yeah.
Contact, but you talked about Contact before.
Yeah. I talked about Contact before, so I was like, well, yeah. Um, Forever and ever, I will love, of course, Jurassic Park, the first one. But The Lost World, in terms of like enjoyable, um, yeah, like enjoyable film to watch as a family film, like with my parents and my siblings, etc. Lost World was more in the rotation than the first film, than Jurassic Park. And
Interesting.
um I really loved being on, what is it? Is it Isla Sorna? Isla Nubla? I forget which is the other island. I liked the second island. I love a forest. I'm a girl who likes
Mm,
getting out of nature. I love big giant redwoods. I love ferns. I love creeks. I love forests. So it was really pretty to look at. And then having the dinosaurs in there was like a bonus. Yeah, Goldblum's character was just fun and yeah, exactly what you wanted, just more of his character to do. Vince Vaughn was like actually trying.
Oh, Vince Vaughn's had a resurgence. Like Vince Vaughn,
Yeah.
he's the last couple of years he has put out quality, and I know we're going to go on another tangent now. Buckle up, kids, we're going on a tangent. Vince Vaughn is someone I loved as a teenager. Like he was doing all the comedies I wanted to see. He did, Dodgeball, um, Wedding Crashers, all those. Like that was exactly my jam. Old School was really fun. And then like it became cool to hate on Vince Vaughn, I think, for a while. And he's probably put in some films that maybe were lower tier, like weren't kind of the hits that he'd put out previously. But in the last couple of years, he's done some really interesting stuff. Like he's done some really serious work. So he did Hacksaw Ridge.
Mm,
He did Brawl in Cell Block 99, which is a tough movie. Like it is talk about like a violent prison film. Like, oh my goodness. Like, and it wasn't even the violence that got to me. Like there is a subplot which I am not going to tell you. It is
no
that
thanks.
upsetting.
Okay.
Like basically, well, all I'll say is that like basically he's been like forced into prison and he has to go kill someone. Otherwise, the people who put him in there are going to do something nasty to someone he loves. And when I heard what they were going to do, I was like, wanted to throw up. Like
Mm,
it was like it's. I kind of I told Tina I didn't tell her what it was. I was like, I watched this movie last night. There's the thing in it. They don't even show you it. They just say this is what they're going to do. It's so upsetting. I wanted to throw up, and she's like, "Oh, what is it?" I'm like, "I can't tell you." That's just
no, it should. Yeah, it would be traumatic to hear it secondhand, even.
and
Yeah.
like I'll be on. I'll tell you this. Like without seeing the film, you will never guess. Like I was like, who came up with this? Like it's nothing sexual. Like it's
Your
not even
twisted
violent.
mind would still, yeah.
I was just like, I'll be honest, it is the most creative punishment I've ever heard of in my life. It's so messed up. But Vince Vaughn's brilliant in it. He did Dragged Across Concrete, which was another like a brutal cop film by the same guy who did Brawl in Cell Block 99. And then my favorite Vince Vaughn of the last few years was a movie called Freaky, which I don't know if you've seen. So it's a
No.
horror film. It's a horror comedy, and basically it's him and Catherine Newton, who was in Blockers. She's in the new Ant-Man film, and the concept is it's Freaky Friday, except a teenage girl swaps bodies with a serial killer, um,
Ah.
and it's so much fun. Like
I was gonna say that sounds like problems for the two of them. Oh my
it's
goodness.
so fun because you got Vince Vaughn who has to behave like a teenage girl, and you've got Catherine Newton who has to act like a savage, like brutal murderer. Um, it's kind of like the hot chick, but then like with like murder involved. It's great. It's a really fun film. So Vince Vaughn's. All I'm saying is he's doing all right. He's made some good. He's making some interesting choices.
Mm.
All right, tangent
But I remember
over.
rewatching. I remember rewatching The Lost World like a fair few times, and so I think the time period where we were rewatching it, or it was on TV, or we had it on, a VHS taped off the TV, was when he was doing those sort of comedy, like not trying very hard roles. So it was weird to be like, oh my god, he can do stuff. He's good. So what the hell is he doing at the moment? Like, yeah.
I mean, I don't know which movie you're referring. Like, is there a particular movie where like, Vince Vaughn, what are you doing? Like, is there a particular like?
I think of Dodgeball or The Breakup or
I haven't seen The Breakup yet.
just ones where he.
4 Holidays. That seems.
Yeah, I think he was in Mr. and Mrs. Smith as a small role, but like
Oh, okay.
just even just the delivery or the type of dialogue that he gets for some of those characters.
Well, to be fair, like
Yeah.
I think I might know what it is. Before you talked about how you struggle with sarcasm. Like he's nothing if not sarcastic. Like
Probably.
maybe you're like you're watching these comedies and you're like, are these jokes? Like I don't understand.
But he also talks really fast, and
Yeah.
he has the same facial expression when he does the fast talking and the delivery of the like, "What are you doing?" Da, 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 da. And so, yeah, I never quite was. I was like, slow down, or like make a different facial expression.
I
But
do like
yeah,
Dodgeball. Young Justin Long is like, I mean, any Justin Long is a win, but young Justin Long is adorable. Like he's so good in that movie.
so
Uh,
fresh faced.
all right, we will now resume the discussion of Lost World once again. Back at it. Well, it has my favorite ending. I think of, and it's been a long time since I've watched this one as well. But I think my favorite ending of all the Jurassic films, and that's they did King Kong. Like we were
Yes.
talking about it before, like
Yep.
T-Rex in the city. Like I know people scoff at it. Like a lot of people don't like the movie when it goes that direction. But like
I thought
that's
it was good.
that's what I want. Like that's what I
Yeah,
want. Like
and they didn't make him like knock over a Statue of Liberty. They didn't make him blow up anything stupid. Like they did like this poor giant big-footed like dinosaurs in a city. Like what the fuck do I do? Like they
mm,
made him a fish out of water too. It was cool.
mm.
Or her. Hang on. Wait, no,
Yeah,
she's
her.
female.
Yeah.
Dog. But yeah, they made her interact with the city in a good way, not just some like over flashy, and you could just imagine the horrendous, promos of a dinosaur stomping through the city and blowing something up, but instead they do the like, the giant ball, I think, that's sitting on top of a petrol station rolling away down the street.
Mm,
Or, like, oh, I think the boat, I love the scene with the boat where they're standing there and it's all misty, and then the boat comes out of the fog and just crashes into the dock. And you're
mm,
sort of like, is it gonna be a dinosaur? Like, is it gonna be the boat? Like, how fast is the boat gonna come? And it just comes, like, at you, and I thought that was
mm.
really cool, and I think the boat's got the same name as the boat from King Kong.
Oh, does it? I mean, like
Yeah, I
that's
think that
you're
was
testing my trivia there as well. I really don't know.
I I think so. I think that was a deliberate choice where they deliberately named the boat the same so that when King Kong comes to New York, the boat is the same. So,
Mm.
yeah. So that was kind of cool, and yeah, I liked that transition. I liked the jumping over into the world because then it makes you entertain. Imagine if the others were there and it was before we did all that other stuff. So you think of like, what if the Stegosaurus got there, or what if the pterodactyl got there? And
And that's what I wanted from Dominion. I was like, give
mm,
me that. Like, and that's why I'm like, oh, another island. Like, I don't mind it, but like, yeah, I mean, that's the formula. But I like the best part of that movie for me was when you saw them in the wild. Like when you saw like the pterodons. I think that's a dinosaur. I'll have to defer to you. You're the expert. But like the flying pterodactyls and
mm.
stuff, like going over like skyscrapers and stuff. Like we're flying across the coast. Like that was all.
Do you remember that promo short film at the campground that they did?
No.
So before they released, that first section of Dominion where you just had the beautiful Foley and the animals around the Grand Canyon and whatever. About a year before that, they released a short film where there's people around in a like a caravan, like a campground, um, and they're just all behaving normally, whatever, and then dinosaurs, like, come through the campground and stuff. I'll send you the link. It's a really, really good, like, promo-y short film, and I wanted them to roll with that. Like, that's what
Mm,
I wanted them to roll with. Same. I wanted to see, like, yeah, what was it like? People in, their mobile homes now who'd moved out of the cities because they were too dangerous, or, people had to move to colder climates because the dinosaurs don't like colder climates, they like warmer climates. So that's how they were safer. And how were they surviving that way? And how had society managed to, yeah, either coexist or adapt, or, yeah, I was so interested in them taking that route rather than taking the one that they sort of did, even though I didn't mind it, but I
oh
was
yeah, it's
I
not,
was
again, like, it's not a
really
bad film.
hungry for, yeah, I was really hungry for it's almost like, The Walking Dead, but with dinosaurs.
Yeah, like that's what I want. Like I've made
That's
the
what I
joke before.
wanted too.
I've made the joke before, and I think I've told you this before. I'm like, if they're doing another one, like the next tip is Mad Max with dinosaurs. Like
Yes.
just go, like do that. Like
I
you've
wanna
already
see
got.
them riding a Parasaurolophus. I wanna see them saddle them up and riding them. Yeah, I wanna see them using an ankylosaur to pull a water cart and
Yeah,
do
and
some farming,
I mean,
and,
you're
like,
dropping some serious like scientific terms here. Like,
you'll know them when you see them. They're the pretty basic ones.
I want to see like I want your villains wearing like dinosaur hide jackets and stuff. Like
And
they're like
teeth. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like
Teeth
dinosaur
and
like
jewelry.
claws and teeth through their helmets. Um, I want to see like velociraptors riding motorcycles. I want to see like
Yeah. You wanna see the small colony that lives in the caves, and their, after school activity is watching 2 dinosaurs fight to the death in a pit somewhere, and, yeah. I wanna see
yeah, like
the big rack of a dinosaur's hind leg on a spit. Like, yeah.
do you remember? Did you watch Game of Thrones? Were you a Game of Thrones person?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you remember like the episode where they debut Brienne of Tarth and she has to fight the bear? Like
In the
that's
pit. Oh
like
my god, that
like
was
that's what I like.
heart-wrenching.
I want the human versus dinosaur fighting pits and stuff like that, or like
Yeah.
a post-apocalyptic coliseum where like innocents have been abducted and this that they have to fight dinosaurs for like the entertainment of like the overlords and stuff like that.
I do like that idea actually of the Mad Max way. I'm thinking more of the Walking Dead way of the world's, like, yeah,
I mean,
a
like I
wasteland that way,
think
but
they
not
both
that far
work.
gone.
Like
Yeah.
I think you can do both. Like because
I feel like
Walking Dead.
you'd start with the Walking Dead timeline, and it would end up ending up in the Mad Max territory.
And then, like, what you find out is it's just an origin for Super Mario Brothers. Like,
Ah,
it's that's your. It's got Chris Pratt in it already, so it all links.
you just suddenly got an Italian accent.
That's I love that you went like not unconventional, but you would have been so easy to be like, hey, Jurassic Park, Contact. I've talked about him before. I'm putting him back on again, but to go with Lost World, which I do think is an underrated sequel, like. It's one I haven't watched in a little while, but like that ending, like to me, is the strongest ending of the three. Like
Mm.
bringing, like it does what Dominion probably should have done. Like it's like let's get a dinosaur in the real world. Like let's mix it up. Like and arguably like executed better than that '90s Godzilla film. I don't dislike that Godzilla. Like I know that's one that people like to crap on and like give a hard time, but like it is what it is. But I think T Rex in New York is a winning combination.
But it's good. It builds off some of the original highlights from the first film. Like in the first film, when the kids are stuck in the car and the T-Rex is going at the car, they do it again, but they do it a bit bigger. It's a
Mm.
trailer and it's 2 T-Rexes instead of 1. Like they go a bit bigger and harder, and like Engine get their asses handed to them. It's good. It's watching the people who were so arrogant and thought they could control everything get, like,
Mm.
fucked up, and then they have to team up with the people who know better to get out of the problem. Like they have to go and trek across the rest of the island with their tail between their legs, or
Mm.
like the raptors in the first one in the kitchen and stuff are so terrifying. So then they're like, cool, well, let's make it nighttime and long grass and just watch them like swarm you in the long grass. Like I
That
like
long
that they
grass
take
scene
these.
is like
Oh,
when I was a
chills.
kid, like terrifying.
Yeah.
Like terrifying. We talked about this, I think, on your first episode when you talked about the original Jurassic Park. But one of my favorite moments in the film is when the guy gets the snake on him, and so he's like, "Oh my god!" This like as if like of all the things you to worry about on this island, like a snake, and he backs out and then gets torn apart by two T-Rexes. Um, like it's that's cinema gold right there.
Yeah. It's so great.
Um,
Yeah.
I really like your list. There's with the exception of Fifth Element, nothing has been talked about before on the show ever.
Oh,
Which
wow.
you would think that Shawshank would have come up before, but it hasn't.
That's
Um,
weird. Okay.
I but no, I really like your list. I like your save these movies from destruction list, and I really like your '90s list as well. And I'll be honest, with the exception of Shawshank, I don't think. Well, actually, Fifth Element might come up again, but I don't think many of these are going to come up again. Like it's a pretty eclectic list, which I really like. Um, which means we're now at the rapid fire round. Um, every time we do a new topic, there's a new rapid fire. I'll be honest, this one was hard work because as I get to bring in new topics, I have to come up with more questions. But it kind of worked last time, so we'll see how we go.
I've come up with 3 questions for you as well
Oh,
because
okay. Well,
I
interrupt me and
can't
ask
help
me some
myself.
questions. I love
Yep,
it.
I
Like
say
this is why I like you as a guest because you know what? I'll be honest. Outside of the podcast, I don't mind you either. You're all right. But I like that you come prepared, and I like that you flip the switch on it. Ask me your questions 3.
yes. Do you want me to go first, or do you need
Yeah,
to
go
try
for it.
first? Okay. So, question number 1 is you have to swap the protagonists around into their corresponding films, and you have to tell me why. So it could be just because you want to see them in that storyline. It could be that you think they fit. It could be that you think they don't fit, or whatever. But I want you to swap them around. So you've got Ripley from Alien 4. So you've got clone Ripley.
Resurrection,
Yeah.
the film I've probably seen the least, but that's okay.
Well, but you've got clone Ripley, so
Yeah.
she's not all there.
Yep.
You've got Corbin Dallas from The Fifth Element,
Mm.
and you've got Neo from The Matrix. So I want you to switch them and put them in the different films. So where are you going to put them?
Interesting. I'm trying to Resurrection. That's not the prison ship. That's the third one, isn't it?
That's the third one. That's the one that no one watches because it's stupid.
That's David Fincher's first film. He went on to do so many wonderful things. There's a lot of
He
studio
did.
interference.
It
Give
was a
me a
learning. We'll just say it was a learning curve for
no.
him.
There's
The
a lot of
training
studio
wheels.
interference. Like it wasn't his final cut. There were a couple of things there. What just remind me the plot of Resurrection 'cause it's been a minute.
So Resurrection is oh my god, Winona Ryder's character is an AI, and she's been sent to make sure that we completely get rid of all the xenomorph species forever and ever and ever because they're starting to try and weaponize and militarize them. So they've already cloned Ripley. They've pulled the queen out of her. They were going to dispose of her, but they thought, screw it, let's just see what she does. And then it turns out that she's kind of a hybrid between the two, and she's kind of
That's
cool with
right.
some abilities. And so then, the crew comes onto it's still a military driven sort of sector. So it's all about still trying to wipe out everyone, but Queenie's there and Queenie's popping out babies and yeah.
Okay. All right. Neo has to go into Resurrection because Corbin Dallas ain't doing anything. Like he's
Okay.
just human. He can't take down the xenomorph. He can't do it. I love Bruce Willis, but he can't do it. So it's got to be Neo
You
because
can leave them. You can leave some where you want to leave them because there's only
no,
3. So I think
we'll
mathematically
we'll
that
do a
doesn't
full
work.
swap. We'll do a full swap. It's cool. We'll
Okay.
move them all around. So Neo goes into Alien Resurrection because even though he doesn't have full access to powers outside the Matrix yet, he does get it, which means he's equipped to take down the xenomorphs. He can do that.
Okay. So you put him in there because he could handle it. Yeah.
He can handle it. That means Corbin goes into the Matrix, which
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have I'd love to. I think just as a inter-character dynamic, I think he'd play off everyone really well. Like he basically could be part of the Nebuchadnezzar crew as it is. Also,
He seems rough as guts enough.
yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see him interact with Cypher in particular. I think there'd be some really good some sass between those two. And I also, obviously, with the Matrix, if you plug in, you can download things. So now he is equipped to do that sort of thing. But does he become the savior of mankind? I don't know. Like I don't know.
I feel like he wouldn't be falling into the savior role. I feel like he would be more, Just
No,
helping out.
but he could be this. I think that like I think it's the best fit for him, which means we put Ripley into Fifth Element. Yeah, she can handle herself. Like she can handle herself. Um, she is, I think, a great companion for Lilu. Like you take it
She'd
all
be, yeah, she'd be very like mentory, but like
maternal.
grumpy mentor, like just like
Yeah. And she's no nonsense. I think she's the right fit there. Like Corbin kind of like blunders his way through that movie a little bit, whereas
He
Ripley,
improvises. Yeah, he's an
yeah,
improv man.
whereas Ripley's not leaving anything up to chance. So those are my swaps. Um,
Ooh,
so there
cool.
you go. There you go.
I feel like I would have done really similar. Yeah.
I had to, and I take this question seriously. Like you do hard hitting questions, you ask questions I don't always know the answer to, but I take them seriously.
Good. Question number 2 then is just talking about taking things seriously. Question number 2 is who would you choose for your imaginary friend from this list? And this is like as you are now, not like as a kid. Like tomorrow, you turn up to my house, we're hanging out, but you've got this imaginary friend that's just like in the back of your brain
Can I
annoying you.
see them? Is it like Drop Dead Fred, or no one can see them? Like,
So one of them is Drop Dead Fred. One of them is Tyler Durden from Fight Club. One of them is Kay from Men in Black.
Oh,
And
that's a good
then
choice.
Mushu from Mulan, or the one who I would just straight up choose because it's me, Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars.
Interesting.
So just Drop Dead Fred, Tyler Durden, Kay, Mushu, Qui-Gon. You got
Definitely not Tyler Durden. Like that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Like, yeah, no one had fun in that movie. That's not what I have to
He'd
shoot.
derail your whole life.
I have to shoot myself in the neck just to get rid of him. So that's not happening. I'm not going Drop Dead Fred either. Like things worked out in the end, but that's too manic.
It's like having 2 toddlers around.
Oh
Nah,
my goodness!
maybe
Like
not.
it's too much. It's too much. So that brings us down to Kay. It brings us down to Mushu, and brings us down to Qui-Gon.
And Qui-Gon.
I mean, like the only reason I would want Kay is just because of the way Tommy Lee Jones speaks. Like I just like, but if it's imaginary, I'm not.
Calm. You'd have a really calm imaginary friend around you all the time.
I think I'm going Mushu. I think that's where I'm going. Mushu, like first of all, like he's fun. Like he's an underachiever. Like he's he's an underdog. He's probably gonna sing me a song at some point. He's gonna crack some jokes. He's gonna
a bit of
be.
a hype girl.
He's my corner man. Like if I need like a bit of a boost, I think I'm going Mushu. Like and also like, I mean, look, if I'm coming over to your house tomorrow, we're having a chat, and then I just have a separate conversation with an invisible being. None of them are good. But at least Mushu will make me feel better about myself after I've been kicked out for being too weird. So I'm going Mushu.
Mushu's your imaginary friend. Okay, good one. Qui-Gon Jinn is mine for sure.
I don't need sage-like advice, and that's not because I know everything. I don't need that calming presence. Like I'm at a point now in my life where I'm like, I don't really get frazzled by things too much, and I apologize for using the word frazzled, but I don't really get like kind of shaken off kilter too much. I can kind of handle things, but you know what I need sometimes is a laugh or just someone to remind me I'm doing okay. So I think Mushu's my guy. Like if Qui-Gon's too philosophical, it's like, well, what will be will be.
Qui-Gon's also a rule breaker. You have to remember that he also is not blindly following the faith of Star Wars. He's a bit of a rule breaker, and so sometimes you need someone in your ear who's going, this is what everyone's telling you, and this is the wisest thing, but
Mushu's a rule breaker as well. And I get all the benefits of having an animated cartoon sidekick, an animated animal sidekick. So I'm going there.
Well done. All right, last question.
Last question.
It's hard to frame it, so I don't know if I've phrased it properly, but
that's okay.
Pretty much it's who would you team up with in a natural disaster. So you get someone who just you stumble across and you're like, yeah, I'm going to follow and stick close to them because they know what they're doing.
You're my ticket to survival through this.
Pretty much. But then I realized once I made this list, I'm like, but it depends on the disaster. And so I didn't really specify what the disaster is, which might change the way you think about it. But I'm kind of interested to see which way you go anyways. So you've got Jack Dawson from Titanic.
Well, nothing to do with water. Like, clearly that's not working out.
Hey, he pulled Rose through. He doesn't have to survive. It's who would
That's true. That's
so
an excellent point.
Yeah, so you know what? You would survive. So you've got Jack Dawson.
Yeah, but like I saw that car scene. What do I have to do to survive?
Yeah, but what if it's not anything to do with water? What if it's you want to stick with Jack Dawson during a earthquake? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no. I dig the premise. I don't know. Look, there are concessions I'll have to make to survive with Jack Dawson. He wants me to dance on my toes. He wants to get steamy in a car. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But that's okay. We'll keep going through the list.
You mean you're not comfortable with him drawing you nude?
I mean, if he's comfortable with drawing me nude, I'm concerned because no one wants that. That's
he does. Okay. All right. So you've got Jack Dawson. You've got Frank Farmer, who's Kevin Costner from The Bodyguard.
Okay.
So he's literally like a bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got the T-800 from Terminator 2, Arnie.
Okay.
So, like, if it's Waterworld and the world's flooding, the T-800's no fucking good to you. So, like,
honestly,
I wrote this question, then I was like, damn it, this doesn't really help much.
He's not really much use in any situation, unless the natural disaster is Die Hard, which is not a natural disaster at all. Like, he doesn't have wings, he can't fly me out of anywhere, he can't turn into a boat, he's useless, unless I need to shoot out away. But he did protect a really annoying kid, which doesn't really put him in my favor either. I haven't seen The Bodyguard, so other than knowing he is a bodyguard, I don't have. Like, only one of them's really endured a natural disaster, and that's Jack Dawson, which is not the choice I wanted to make today. Well, let's throw in some scenarios. A twister, which we don't really get here very often in Australia, certainly not where I live. I don't know how any of the only thing I can think is the T-800's pretty heavy. Like, maybe I can hold on to him, or he can hold me down.
Or he can punch his way into a locked bunker to get you on the ground.
Like, he's the strongest in the twister thing. Or, like, he could literally just, like, maybe lie on top of me and his weight will keep me from flying up. Like, that's no, like, Jack Dawson can't do much for me in a twister, and neither can the bodyguard himself. Iceberg, well, one's got proven experience, and you know what? I would move over on the door for him. I'd make sure we can both fit in there.
It's not a door. People always say the door. It's not a bloody door.
No, I know. Like, it's the vernacular that we have for this scenario.
True. But everyone says door, and then we all know what we're talking about.
It's like a panel or something.
The panel, yeah.
Yeah.
Panel.
Volcano, T-800 ain't helping me. Like, I saw what happened to him at the end of that movie. Like, heat is his enemy. But he'll give me a good old thumbs up before he goes. Is it does he give thumbs up, or does he do the AOK symbol? He has a thumbs up, doesn't he?
The thumbs with the glove on. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think Jack or the bodyguard are really helping me there either. These guys are all kind of rubbish, to be honest.
Didn't want to make it easy.
No.
Otherwise, I could have thrown in.
You've given me the Kobayashi Maru, which there's no winnable circumstance.
No, I could have thrown in some really obvious easy ones, and I didn't want to do that.
Tidal wave, I'm going bodyguard because he can carry me. Like, I've seen that poster. He carries people. T100.
My answer is Frank Farmer. I'd go Frank Farmer from The Bodyguard, pretty much because, like, I feel like I would be okay at surviving the initial whatever disaster. But then afterwards, you have to deal with people. Desperate people.
That's a really good point. And like, I'm thinking too much about the disaster itself, and not the aftermath. I mean, in the aftermath, then I have to go T-800 because no one's like he's going to be out. Well, I think I have to go T-800. Like, if it's solely for the aftermath of the disaster's fine. We got through it. We made it. And because you said we meet up following the disaster, so I've misinterpreted the question as well. So I've made it through. I'm pretty good at what I do. I got through the disaster on my own. I'm not even questioning if I need a sidekick at this point, but I guess if I've gotten through the disaster, I need someone to protect me. I'm going T800, unless there's like lava, in which case I'm going Frank Farmer. Because T800 ain't surviving that heat, and that's done. I'm locking it in. Final answer.
Well done.
Definitely the most.
My three.
Definitely the most challenging of the questions because it was so unusual. But I really dug it. All right, time to turn the old microscope the other way and ask you the 90s rapid fire. And this is the last part of the episode, but you've survived this before. You're going to get through it, I'm sure. This is a really unfair question, Maddie. What 90s film has the best movie poster?
Oh my God. The best movie poster. I'm trying to even think of some of them in my head. Like, yeah, I just keep thinking of the Jurassic Park symbol all the time. Like,
I mean, it's a good poster.
I mean, it's just iconic forever and ever and ever. But oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of like, oh man. Oh, do you know what? I really do like the Star Wars posters. So Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace one where it's Anakin and the shadow of Vader. Is that the one you're talking about? Where he's like walking and
No, the normal one where it's got all the faces of all the cast and the
good
grouping.
posters. They're good posters.
I just love them. I love the grouping. I love the color treatment of them all, the stylized sort of No,
I'll take that. That's a good poster. And also, like we didn't talk about it on this episode, but Phantom Menace, like, not a horrible movie by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's really quite good.
Yeah.
People are unfair. Like, I understand the Jar Jar thing, but like he's just a small part of a much larger film, and there's a lot going on in that movie.
You can't write it off just because Jar Jar's irritating as all hell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There were no irritating characters in the first 3 Star Wars films, were there? They were everyone loved C-3PO. And I'm just saying, like, there are a couple of challenging characters in that movie as well. I like your answer. Which 90s actor or actress is due for a comeback? So we've already seen Brendan Fraser make his comeback. Who haven't we seen in a little while? Who was big in the 90s who needs a comeback?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do I want to see more from Pierce Brosnan?
Ooh, he's kind of getting a bit of a resurgence. He's coming back a bit.
Like, I'm still seeing heaps from Kevin Costner. I love Kevin Costner. I love Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks never went away. He's been
exactly. That's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like who went away that I haven't seen in a little bit. No. We haven't seen much. Well, I mean, I haven't seen much from Jim Carrey. He's sort of
he's done a couple of
trying
things.
other avenues. Yeah. And Winona Ryder didn't go anywhere. She's back, and I'm loving that she's just doing more projects.
Stranger Things, man. Yeah, she's all over it.
She didn't go anywhere. Chosen. Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know whether because he's big in the 80s as well, but definitely 90s. I agree. Give me more. Give me more Michael J. Absolutely.
Michael J. Fox. Yeah.
Absolutely. I like that a lot. Like that's a good pick. I read this morning, I was very excited, is that they're doing a new I Know We Did Last Summer film, and we're getting Freddie Prinze Jr. back. Like, he's someone I'm happy to see again. He's been a bit quiet lately. I'm glad to have him back.
He did the stay-at-home dad thing, I think.
He does a lot of voice work, but to see him on screen again, I was very excited. My other pick, I touched on it before, but Rachel Lee Cook. Like, give me more of her. Like, she's been doing stuff, but get her on a bring her back. I like your answer though. That's really good. Alrighty, which 90s movie could be best improved by the technology of today? So in the 90s, good film, CG doesn't quite hold up, but if we brought it back today, that would be the best improved one.
Are we talking CGI upgrade? Or are we talking like
Doesn't
music?
doesn't have to be
Foley?
just
What are we?
just the technologies. So like it can be CG, it can be sound, it can be camera work. What we
Costume?
obviously.
Okay. I mean, the CG in the first Toy Story, when you watch back, you're like, oh, this is clunky.
Mhm.
So like, I mean, they could remaster that, but
I was just trying to see if The Mummy Returns was a 90s film, but it's not because The Mummy Returns has some interesting CGI. I'll put it at that.
and see, like I love the practical effects in Small Soldiers, so I wouldn't want to CG
What a
any of that.
movie! Like
I
that's a
love
movie I
that.
never hear anyone talk about, but that is such a
Oh,
wonderful little movie. Yeah.
that is fun. It's so fun, and that was one of the ones that like Small Soldiers or Hocus Pocus, if they were on TV, yeah, my brother and I loved Small Soldiers. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want them to CGI that. I liked the
No,
practical
it
effects
doesn't
of
even
that
need to be
one.
CGI. They can just tidy it up a little bit, or like CGI when used well enhances. It doesn't have to be all CGI.
Nah. I'm reading my list and just thinking of like maybe the first Jumanji.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that.
Like the monkeys in the kitchen, and they're
Yeah.
just sort of they're just a bit too unnatural that they just seem a bit silly.
I like that.
And the lion doesn't
Yeah.
quite work in some scenes. So
Yeah,
yeah, I would say
as long as
Jumanji.
the little boy has his realistic like monkey
Oh,
makeup still, like
yeah,
keep
that's
that, go
fine.
practical that. No, I like that. That's a good call.
And
Because
like
that
when the pelican, I think the pelican comes and steals the board game. Yeah, I'd say let's just upgrade Jumanji.
nice one.
Yeah.
And then your last question. It's very popular now to do a sequel series to a movie. So which 90s film is aching for a mini-series sequel or a TV series sequel?
Oh, so we're talking like a 6-episode.
Yeah, 6
series.
maybe they, like the Cobra Kai is an example. Like they did that's a sequel
Oh,
to Karate
okay.
Kid. So, but it can be a mini series, doesn't have to be a full show. But which movie from the 90s, like, you know what? I want to see more of these characters. I want to see more of this story.
And go into them a bit more about. Oh, okay. Just trying to think. Yeah, do I want something that's more of a drama, or do I want something that's more of a sitcom-y feeling, or something that's a bit more?
I mean, the way they make these shows these days, you can do an HBO, action-packed series as a follow-up. Like,
Off the top of my head straight away, and I'm still exploring my answers, but maybe A League of Their Own would be kind of cool.
did they just do
Stretch
League of
that.
Their Own again recently?
I'm not sure, but could you imagine stretching that out into
Well,
a
it's a
lot
sequel
more?
as well, so they can be now coaching the new batch.
Yeah, but still touching on those feminist
Oh, there is
themes.
absolutely a League of Their Own series that
Is there?
yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, they're onto something.
It's
Okay.
not
Well,
a
that was just
sequel
off
from
the
the
top of
looks of it, but it is there's a series.
Okay. Well, that was still just off the top of my list because I'm literally going
Oh
down.
yeah. That's cool. But you got your time.
What's something else that would be kind of cool? Well, see, Sense and Sensibility, we're kind of there already with Bridgerton. A series. We want to see more of the characters. We want to see a bit more. Oh man.
I had to get hard on you guys this time around. Like you thought the
Yeah.
last ones were easy. Now we're in the big leagues.
What about Men in Black?
Yeah.
Men in
Yeah,
Black.
let's do that.
Men in Black could be cool because then you could have like sort of, I forgot what they're called, just self-encapsulated episodes
I
where
was
it
gonna say
gets
you could do an
resolved.
anthology, so you could do like Men in Black,
Mm.
Europe, Men in Black Asia, Men in Black.
Yeah, or just at least where, whatever uh, thing they're up against is resolved within that episode, and then
Yeah,
it's
like
the
an
next
like.
one that Kay and Jay have to face, and then
Mm, yeah,
that
I
could be
like it.
fun.
That is a solid answer. You the word "solid" has come up so much today. I got. Do you know
I'm
what's
so solid.
Do you know what's funny is recently I had a guest point out that I say "nice one" a lot. Like that's my go-to. Like that's my default. That's my filler word, "nice one." So I've been trying to mix it up, and now I'm just like defaulting to something different. But it's the same thing. So it's yeah, it is a nightmare, but it's my nightmare, and it's still not Bicentennial Man. So
You're
uh,
gonna rewatch it and be real pissed at me.
like not disappointed, just like oh, I
I
forgot how
thought I
sad
could do this,
I
Maddie. I
forgot how
tried.
sad I could be. I'm so glad I set a new personal best. Um, Excellent. Well, that is the end. It has been an absolute treat to have you on the show again, Maddie. Um, one of my favorite guests. Like when you come on, I feel uh, the permission to be most silly. Like we'd have no more. There's never more tangents or silliness than when you're on. So it's always an absolute joy. I'm bummed out because this is probably gonna be the last time you come on for a little while. Like obviously you got some very exciting stuff coming up in your personal life. So I'm not saying you've got like it's a bad decision. Like obviously that's very exciting, but it does mean we'll be a little while before you're on again. I think, which the listeners will be worse off for. I think.
Oh, that's all right. I'll still send in some questions or something
Yeah,
on your
absolutely.
on your Instagram. I'll still send things through, and I'll
Oh
still
yeah,
be a
I
part of it.
so I did that. Like for those who follow the Instagram and listen to the show, I did like an Ask Me Anything thing a little while ago, and I didn't really get many responses. I didn't expect to. I've got a pretty low follow count. Like for me, the fact that anyone wants to listen is awesome, but low compared to something else. But I was like, I'll just do an Ask Me Anything, and like 10 questions came through in the afternoon. They were all from Maddie, and like they were as insane as you could imagine.
They
Like
were
some of
quick
the
fire ones. They were fun. Yeah.
no, they were like some of them were like, oh, this is pretty straightforward, and then some of them were like, I don't even know how to begin to answer this one, and I had to, but I take them seriously. Anytime there's a
Mm.
question about movies, I take seriously. So I'm like, well, I have to give this some thought. I have to measure this out. Like, how am I going to respond to this? Um,
I think
so
one of my favorite questions that I can't remember who I heard ask it, but as soon as I heard it asked, I was like, I need to ask you this question, and it's like one of those ones that you can ask people to really find out a little bit more deeply about who they are or yeah, what their social standpoint is, etc. And that's the one where you say, tell me about a scene or a performance where a woman actually gets mad in a film
that
and tell
was
me
the
why you like it. It's
that was
really
the
fun.
toughest one for me because for me, and I was sitting there, like, I come out from work, and I've got this question, and I'm like, I'm going to answer this question. I'm thinking, I'm scouring my brain. I'm like, how am I going to answer? Like, because the word you used was rage.
Yeah.
Like that
Female
was the
rage.
word. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to think of an example of anger that justifies the description rage. Because rage isn't anger. Rage is a whole different level. Like that is
Mm.
intensity. And how can you justify it and how can you complement it? And I end up, for those who didn't see it, I chose Joey Lauren Adams' performance from Chasing Amy because that movie is about it's a love story, but it's about a straight man who falls in love with a gay woman and tries to turn her basically, and she does fall in love with him. Um, and but like she's so angry that she's fallen in love with him because she's kind of like it's kind of this loss of identity. Like she's like,
Feels manipulated. Yeah.
I knew who I was, and now I don't. And then later on, like he hears some rumors about like her sexual history, and so he tries to interrogate her about it, but in the most like kind of clumsy way, like the most obvious way, in a very public place, and she just like unhinges and like it's like this woman should have been gotten so like I'm talking about 90s performers who deserve a comeback. Like she's so good in this role. Like just seeing her like the rage is so justified. It's like you knew who I was before we started dating. You chose to get involved with me. Like if you have a question, ask it, but don't like sneak around behind my back and try and like interrogate me like someone. Like don't try to make me feel bad for my choices. So
Mm.
that was, but it was tough. I was trying so hard to, and I didn't be like, oh, I don't know, like Scarlet Witch when she got revenge on the people who killed Vision. Like yeah, I
There's
like that
some
moment.
there's some really, really good ones out there, and hearing people describe when they enjoy it and why they enjoy it, whether it's just because it's such a good performance or if it was justified or if it made you have a sense of release as an audience member. It's really cool asking that question to people. So like one of my go-tos, I love in Silver Linings Playbook where Jennifer
Such a
Lawrence
good movie.
cracks it in the diner. She stands up and she screams and she throws all the crap off the table and it's like, fuck you, and like storms out. Like, I'm just, yes. Like, yeah.
Mm.
Like, yeah.
And the thing with that question as well is like, I want to answer this well. Like, I don't want to like cheap out, as I said. Like, and again, like Scarlet Witch is a bad example because I actually love all of her rage. I like Elizabeth Olsen's very talented and she brings so much gravitas to a performance. Doesn't need it. Like, it's a comic book film. Like, you can be silly with it, but she do. So like that wasn't a fair example, but like. I know it was like Batgirl where she got angry at the Joker. Like, I didn't want to just give that stock standard answer. I wanted to really think about it, and even the answer I gave, I'm not happy with. I'm sure there's a better one out there, but that was the best I could think of at the time. But it is like it's a great scene. Like, she's so good in it. Excellent. Well, thank you so much as always. Lovely to have you on the show. Maddie will be back. There might be a bit of a hiatus. You know, she's going to be raising another child, which is very exciting. And that is, that's the important work. But we'll have her back on, and we'll talk about 2000s movies and more dinosaur movies. I'm sure we will have to at some point. What we'll have to do is go through like post-apocalyptic disaster films. Like, we'll do a
I'm your
whole.
authority on that. Like, whenever you do like a Halloween special and you get those guests on, etc., etc., if you do an apocalypse like end of the world episode, like I'm reserving my panel seat.
Oh yeah,
now.
absolutely. No, we'll get you on there. But in the meantime, thank you to Maddie for being a wonderful guest as always and keeping me very entertained and entertaining all of my tangents. Thank you for everyone listening. Please follow along on Instagram. I was a teenage film snob, underscores between every single word. Subscribe, like the show, give me 5 stars. If you're not going to give me 5 stars, get out of here. Just kidding, just be nice though. And as we say every single week on this episode, guys, I was a teenage film snob, but I'm trying to be better. See you next week.